because of the NVIDIA driver, which just messed up the whole stream. Shit. Till the time is going. Let's just keep this aside. Let's leave the like for our new live streamers, and let's see who all are online. Guess everybody has got their likes. Jonas is online. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. ChatGPT, that's the thing. Bene Game Official, welcome to the stream. Bro, I just screwed up. You know, ChatGPT, bro. Log in. Log in. Log in. Bro, this graphic driver thing is so crazy, bro. It just screwed everything. Fucking everything. Just threw me out of the stream straight up, and it started updating its own driver. Shit, bro, that's so crazy. Bene Games, welcome to the stream again. Thank you so much. Let's see at what time you're gonna come live, Bene. All right. G2 was a FANATIC. Yo, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Both still be bubbling up undercover. They don't know. You guys are. I think as for me, G2 is gonna win. G2 is a very powerful team. Right, just stop the music, and there we go. This is from my Mitigo. Let's go, Bora Bora. Who else is online? They already got their likes. I don't want system to get freeze, you know. Everybody plays Warzone, but you know, I get bored when I play alone. Radar 16 hours from now. Let's just check. Brazil time is 3:115. Oh, after 1 hour. I'll see you in your stream. For sure. I'll see you in your stream. I'll keep refreshing it. Don't worry. I won't miss your stream, Bene. I wonder where is Lucas and other guys are. 14 seconds, and we will be jumping into the interview, I guess, before that. So let's just check. Yeah. Hit him better. Yes. Joe De Lima, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much. Mute Obrigado, meu amigo. Am I right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the chat itself. Okay.
On G2 versus FANATIC. NA and EMEA are fighting to stay alive in this competition, but only one region will make it to tomorrow's battle.
Still in interview. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm with G2. Okay. I am definitely with G2. G2 is gonna win. I'm expecting to G2. I'm expecting to see G2 and Sentinels finals. To see their finals. Of course.
Rounds there went out way earlier than they would have wanted to. That was still back last year before they lost out on Dirk, before they had to make all their
Sorry, it was the
roster
other way around.
changes that-
FANATIC kicked G2 out of the tournament.
Ooh, bold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you are
Yeah.
you are right.
So how about I think you need to go over your history a little bit more, because I understand that this is Mimi, that this is EMEA versus Americas, but I will
I'm
not
just
give you that
rewriting
win.
a fan fiction in my head, and it's lived out there. No, but you are right. I misspoke there.
Bro.
But there you can see the journeys that both of these teams have taken. Back when this core was the guard, you have this FANATIC squad. That core is stuck together for quite some time as well here. I mean, no matter how you slice it though, Bea, you're looking at an incredible matchup between two masterclass teams.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the new names, the new additions that we're seeing. It's not like Jaw is going to be especially a stranger to FANATIC. I think that the question is more on Kayak and on the other side. But again, to me, is how G2 has adapted to the Tejo meta not being there, but also still implementing him with some changes that we've saw them make the other day. And FANATIC is finally finding their pathing.
Yeah, it seems to be the case here. Now, ahead of this elimination matchup, Yinsu had an opportunity to catch up with Trent for a quick word.
If you ever had questions about what Trent think of Tejo, I think it's pretty clear now. Speaking of the Tejo, your coach spoke about the importance of taking risks. How big or small of a risk is it to bring in corporate Tejo? And what are your thoughts on changing comps mid-tournament?
We've changed comps before, so we don't think it's too big of a risk. And we were very confident in it. We like the idea. And yeah,
Okay,
I mean, I just like Tejo a lot, so it kind of fits.
Okay, let me.
How much do you love Tejo? You know, I know you're wearing the t-shirt, but how much?
I mean, I like him so much, I got a t-shirt.
Based. Thank you very much.
Okay, okay, okay. Cool. That was quite a simple answer. Being a fan. Very frank about it. Okay. I will be as I'm on 800 right now. Thank you so much, Brazil, for your support. 811 in short. Ghost Boy, welcome to the stream. Bene Games, thank you so much. Joe De Lima, Lucas, Mega, welcome to the stream. Like left, thank you so much. So pretty soon, once I hit the 1,000 subscriber, okay, I'll be looking forward to give the very first giveaway for this channel, from this channel. Yeah, from this channel. Who will be the luckiest one? I am still thinking about it, what to give and what to not. I mean, let's see. One giveaway will be for sure. I don't know what. I really don't know what, but yes, damn. There should be something nice, you know, something unique, which I should think about it. I should come up with something good. Right. Pedroman DX, welcome to the streamer. All right.
Into a match, and I think that many times we speak about the form in which
Lotus,
teams
Heaven, and
get.
Icebox are the
I think it's still
chosen one.
viable. I think we can still
I
use it.
guess.
You still have to go back to the drawing board when
Let's
nobody
see,
picks
let's
it.
see,
But
let's
I
see.
like the fact that they went back on their tracks and thought, hey, I think that the way we use it, we might still make it work.
Yeah, there's ways to innovate. That's the beautiful thing about Valorant. Even when you have an agent that might get quote-unquote nerfed, there's plenty of ways for you to integrate these agents into your compositions. G2 is a prime example of that. But it goes further than that as well. And let's actually take a listen on G2's comms and hear what Valorant had to say to his team in the big moments.
Today's game, I want us to just be high energy, okay, and always optimistic and focus forward, all right? And once we win today, the whole tournament is gonna look at us and say, "Oh shit, it's G2 now. We have to play G2."
It is
Make this a
G2.
proving point for yourself,
It
for the
is
team,
G2,
for everyone
boys.
around you, okay? We're gonna
be
change the
a
narrative of
blast.
the tournament today, all right?
Bro.
But it starts with us believing in each other the most. Help your boy out. I want energy today, guys. If you guys want to get hyped, if you guys want to yell at them, whatever you want, do it. Play like underdogs. They're the ones who said we're going to take us out easy.
Like
They said that. They said
Dude,
that it's
I
going to
like
be
that.
like just like last time at Shanghai, 2-0, quick victory.
Bro.
If you guys want to
Thank you so much.
talk
Today
them back,
Games,
go
hello,
ahead and
welcome
do
back
it.
to stream.
This is your playground today. There's no pressure on us, okay? All the pressure's on them.
Whoa.
Valen in an interview said when he was a younger IGL, when he was coming up
Damn.
from Tier 2, he used
The
to
pressure
watch
on
a lot
them.
of Corsair's games on FANATIC,
He's
look up
taking
to him
everything
when
in a-
he was winning very early on in this game's history. But now,
Okay.
Valen saying he wants to be his own IGL. He's not here to emulate any other leader, and he's shown how good of a leader he's become in such a short amount of time,
They're going to
having the year they
Logitech
did last year,
5-2.
pulling off that comeback against Gen G, and now going
That doesn't
into
style.
another big match here. But he's not the only leader on this team. Leaf as well, behind the scenes, adds so much into this roster to help out with ideas and to help Valen with that leadership.
Yeah, and even behind the scenes, but also we can see it in the server because clutch after clutch, Leaf will be on your screens. And today, he will be on FANATIC's screens because the performance that we've been seeing from him all tournament long, but especially since they fell onto this lower bracket, which was pretty early on, he has been delivering. It doesn't matter the map, the agent that he's playing, you can always count on Leaf. And if you're on the other side, you must count your blessings because if he's alive, you're not getting it.
For my money, this guy's top 3 in the world,
Fair
right?
enough.
And really, the amount of
RYZEN should
confidence
be
you have to
only
have
result
to take
of
1v2s the way that this guy does in those
Damn.
clutch
Yeah.
situations is really something that is astounding, Mimi.
But there's a player across the stage from him that is also very much up there, and that's AlphaYear. You look back at FANATIC through all the tournaments they've had where things have gotten
I like
close.
this
There's a
one,
common
but
thread.
still,
Alpha,
you know,
when they
it's
eliminated G2
quite
like
bigger
we were
to-
talking about, he was dominant, plus
This one,
21 in kills in
This is
that
small.
game. And he's having those kind of
This is
performances again.
kind of a
He
mouse.
is such a monster on the
small,
international stage,
But
and it feels like
still,
every time he comes
feel
back,
like
he only gets stronger.
I
He
can play
only
games with
gets
this
more comfortable in these big games.
The head-to-head between these two players is definitely the treat of the day, especially if we would get to see that ascent, if we get to see that chamber. I think that for Alpha's confidence has been very important because then in other maps, like for example Haven, where he on the ISO was sometimes the different, well, most of the times, the difference maker, he hasn't been showing up. And I feel like he needs this kind of push for him to perform the way that we know he can perform.
Hey, and what helps him is that he's going to have some vets in the back line helping him out there. You got Chronicle standing by with Yinsu to get his thoughts ahead of the match.
Coming up now, the last time Kron you faced G2, roster was a little bit different. You didn't have Kayak or Crashies. Tell me, what kind of impact have they brought to this roster and maybe to you individually as well?
I think the biggest difference in terms of our roster right now is that Kayak and Crashes brought very positive vibes in our team. Also, like not talking about the skill and other stuff because it's quite different, but the positive impact on our vibes in the team really helped a lot. Right now I also have to focus on different stuff, not just like thinking about how to make my team control my team being much better in terms of positivity, mental, how they like feel before the matches. I trust them, like they trust me, and we are doing good.
Well, that's great news to hear. Good luck today, Kron.
Thank you.
A lot on the shoulders of that veteran Chronicle to keep this squad pretty much in line. One of those individuals in particular is Kayak, who's coming into this one, the fresh face with FANATIC. And well, we're seeing what this young man is capable of doing, Kakuga. It is unbelievable, and it seems like he ain't stopping.
Yeah, keeping them alive in many situations, doing exactly what is expected from him when he's in roles like the Neon and whatnot. I still feel that we have not seen his full potential, because in EMEA, he's been treating us to a lot of operator rounds, and even though he's been showing it a little bit more in the last encounter, I feel like it could be a different beast if we get Kaya with the operator and just completely saturating their opponent.
Every other player on the stage today has a history at global events, at coming to big moments, being part of history in Valorant before. But Kayak, it hasn't even been a year since he won Ascension, made it into the EMEA League, then chose to leave his team, take this opportunity with FANATIC to replace one of the game's greatest duelist players, and somehow he has filled that role. He has filled those massive shoes perfectly and kept that up in these higher and higher pressure games. And now for him today, this is going to be the biggest game he has ever played, but he showed no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, and really on the other side with G2 as well, right? They have also showed no signs of slowing down after that comeback win that they've had.
Absolutely.
Can they feed off of that momentum here? Because it's going to be really difficult to stop Kayak.
On his counterpart, with Jogemo being back in the Euro, being back also in the roles that he's been practicing the most throughout the year and shining the most, I think that we get the most evened out ground for both of the teams in the involvement that we've seen in the tournament.
Yeah, there's history even there too. For Jogemo, having lost to this FANATIC team back in Masters Tokyo, having that rivalry with them when he was on Evil Geniuses. Now on a new roster this year with this G2 team, trying to reach those heights again, but against this very familiar foe.
Let's actually take a look at the talent predictions one more time so we can get a read on the field, because there were only two that diverted from G2, and that of course is our lovely EMEA amigos. We got Kakuka as well as Yinsu.
Also, this has to be the first time that we all predict one team and they win.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
It's a rarity.
We did it, guys. We did it. Oh, man, but this is going to be awesome. I'm so excited for this one, Mimi.
Yeah, it's just two of the greatest teams in this game coming to a head again in an even deeper part of the tournament than they were before. Either of these teams could win a trophy, but only one gets to stay alive.
You can see the players getting ready in the back over there. So the question for everyone here in Toronto, are you ready? Let's try it again. I asked you, are you ready for the lower finals? Yeah, you love to hear it, folks. Let's go ahead and send it down to the stage and bring up the #1 teams from Americas and EMEA.
Yo!
G2 Esports.
G2 Esports.
For G2 Esports, it's an opportunity to lift a trophy one step closer. But for FANATIC, it's an opportunity to reclaim glory. Both squads know that there's so much on the line here. Both teams manufactured and created to win championships, but unfortunately, Mimi, one squad has to go home today.
Every #1 seed in this tournament lost in the
That will
first
be
round
FANATIC.
of playoffs. They have been on a trajectory straight at each other through this lower bracket. But now only one
Lotus
gets to
split
continue.
and
We have the
Headphone.
Omen map select up here. And
Map.
these teams, they have a very
Bro.
kind of, a lot of crossover in their map pool, Bea.
Yeah, I'm very surprised because G2, as you can see, they banned Ascent, but throughout this entire tournament, the 3 times that they played, they banned the Sunset. But they identified that it's not a map that FANATIC has ever been comfortable in, and we have seen it throughout this tournament, how they've been struggling. So they have decided to go against something that they do not want to see from FANATIC. Fnatic, and he's probably Alpha on Chamber.
Absolutely. Fnatic look terrifying on that map. It's a very good choice from them, I think, in the bans. But despite being able to have that target ban, these are all maps where Fnatic is very comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe they looked a little shaky on their Haven earlier in this tournament, but you look at their year as a whole, and these are three very strong
Absolutely.
maps for them. And there are also three maps where, unlike G2, they haven't had to change up a whole ton. They've been playing these same comps for so long.
Yeah, I really hope that we get to that last map, to that Haven, because both Paper Rex and Wolves ban it, so this could be the last Haven in the tournament. In fact, it's either that or we do not see it again. But as you were saying, Mimi, I agree. The first two maps, they've been good for Fnatic. In fact, this resembles of EMEA, Fnatic banning Pearl and pick and split. We've seen it 3,000 times. But that first map, that Lotus, I think that we have also seen showing from both of the teams. This is one of the maps where G2 has grown the most, going back to that Tejo. And I think we understood from the way the Fnatic was playing the other day that they are literally back in the same composition, playing the same way. We saw that Odin control on A, the same things that we've been seeing for such a long time.
You could watch a Fnatic VOD from 3 years ago,
Yeah,
and it would
be
hard
the
to
same
discern.
sound.
Yeah, which Fnatic it is, because they've always just been
But that's
so good
crazy,
at
though,
this
that
map.
you can do that, but they're still so damn good, even when you know what they're going to do.
A lot of teams chase
They should not do the same today.
the absolute peak in the current meta, right? I think G2's a great example with how much they optimize the tail meta. Fnatic, once they have a comp they know is good, it is all about just perfecting that down to every detail. And their Lotus is the ultimate example of doing so. The fact that they still win, that they're still strong after all this time playing the same composition.
It's a split crowd here in Toronto. There's G2 fans coming out in full force, Fnatic fans letting their voices heard. Look at them, they got the onesies out. You love to see that. That's cool, get me one of those.
Oh, we have some in EMEA, they're pretty cool.
I want to
A
wear
bit
one of
warm,
those.
I'd say.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll sweat my butt off in there. Okay.
Daddy.
All right, I had to question a lot of things there for a brief moment, but all right. In any case, though, as we get ready for this one, Mimi, you can tell, man, the crowd, the energy is electric in this room.
Yeah,
Gamer, hi,
they
welcome to the stream.
become
Thank you
crowd
for
favorites. You see Boaster playing
my
up to
friend,
them.
you are
I think he's
incredible
trying to do
person.
his
Continue
jinx
being
on them
wonderful person. I
that
wish,
you've seen in some of the little
you
videos.
much success.
Always trying to
Thank
do
you so
something
much.
fun.
A
Make
big
the
shout out
pressure
to
fade away for his teammates.
Desian.
Here's your agent select. We shouldn't expect
Gamer.
any surprises. G2 locking that
Bro,
fade suggests that
finger
this is
crossed
the same comp they pivoted into
for
after they
G2
lost
to
with
win.
that Neon. It's the comp they've been playing all
Leaf.
of stage one back home in Los
Leaf
Angeles,
is-
but with that fade subbed in for the breach.
I'm really looking forward to the changes that Fnatic have to make to this defense. Again, controlling from tree with the Odin, very
Playing
old stuff,
Viper.
but especially with this Tejo, I think that G2 is
Chronicle
going to be
is
one of the
playing Viper
first
too.
things that they target. As I said,
Ooh.
Kayak on the operator. If they start snowballing
Damn.
rounds, this could get too easy for Fnatic. But right now, they should be like, hold on. They picked
is
Lotus.
playing
Are we this obvious? Because
Tejo.
we've been having such good results in the map.
Yeah, could it be a trap, right? That
not
one
yet
has
locked,
to wonder.
right?
But at this point, right, both teams are going to go out there, play their game, and hey, you just got to see where the
people
coin
are
lands,
about
right?
to lock.
That's
You
They
all
have
it
not
is.
absolutely
yet
do.
locked it.
You have to
But
look at the
G2 are
battle
already
between
done
these
selecting
leaders.
everything.
Both Valen and Boaster as well have been so good strategically,
lock,
so good
Viper.
at building up their teammates, bringing that
Owen.
energy to succeed
And there you
on
go,
stage.
Fade.
But there's still such a gap in experience.
Okay,
When
okay.
Boaster was
Let's see
winning
who's gonna
trophies,
win,
Valen
right?
was bringing
I'm
this team out of
expecting
Tier
G2
2,
to win.
dragging them through Ascension to make it
G2
into the
Esports.
Americas League.
G2 is
But now here they are, an opportunity for them to be
will
able
go against
to march forward, send an
Sentinels.
EMEA team home, but alternatively,
If I'm
Fnatic can end
Just
America's
check
hopes
the roster.
here and now.
Listen, we can have the best of both worlds. How about Fnatic wins, and since we have crashies,
See?
you're still
as
making it
good.
onto the lower final.
I can't concede that, but I don't know. I'm a bit of a G2 stan, so you never know. You never know.
I wonder what they think, GB.
You know what? Great call there. How about this? Toronto, who you think's gonna win? Let me know right now. We got a little bit of all over the place.
Are in
All right,
grand final
is it
of
Fnatic?
upper-
Is Fnatic
upper
gonna
bracket.
win?
Now, whoever wins this, right?
What
whoever
about
wins
G2?
this will go to the lower finals. Then it will be
That is a
grand final
reaction
between
for
Paper X
G2
and
Esports. As they get ready for this matchup, players setting up on
And
that
one of
stage.
the guys
And
from
now
G2
it is
was
time.
maybe.
Toronto Toronto, let's make some noise as we get ready for this lower bracket matchup. Here are your casters, Brent and Sideshow.
Lower bracket match is going on. Boom.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, excited to get back into this one here. We have two Titan teams, Josh. They're facing up on the stage in Toronto, both looking to carve out their own spot in the history books for VCT itself. Two teams that ended up in the lower bracket right at the beginning of our playoffs, and both of them trying to pull off the improbable, the impossible, but not for them. These are two teams with the most confidence to know that they can do it.
And two teams that you've seen make historic comebacks within maps. You only have to look to recent history for G2. You're thinking about comebacks on Icebox. Well, the team on the other side has pulled off legendary stuff themselves. This is NA versus EU. EMEA, they haven't won a trophy since FANATIC themselves won those back-to-back tournaments in 2023. And that's what the region is hunting for. These are two teams with similar styles as well, the lower bracket, with players such as Chronicle looking to continue being the winningest player of all time. Jorgamo looking to join the list, a tiny list of players who've won champs and masters. Only Sassy there. There's so much rich history, but only one of these two teams is going to be able to make it through to battle Wolves in the lower bracket final.
Oh, we're going to be getting into it shortly here for our opening pistol round between these two juggernaut teams. Toronto, make some noise. Let's get loud.
All right, let's go, Lotus. The round starts
for FANATIC.
now.
It's home ground though for both squads. And G2 taking Rebel control as FANATIC get ready for a trap play at front B.
There we go, there we go.
Slow is going to be the name of the game for both of these squads on their attack sides, feeling out what the defense has got going.
Okay, Chronicle just...
They're both pretty happy to play retake trap styles. The poster is in fact the opening kill.
Damn, the blood's going to be drawn out as G2 bodies are dropping. Not relenting though, G2 looking eager to try and take site control, but they've got a crossfire set to try and contend with.
How did he get two?
How the hell are you doing that? Jonah P, drive by, swings by.
Nice.
And just like that in a blink of an eye, it's FANATIC now that are on the back foot.
What a plant as well. They're planting so that they can take heaven control. They know that at least one of these players is on the flank.
Alpha is going to try and deliver shoulder to shoulder. Him and the IGL
Botalo
to connect. Not anticipating it. Boaster delivering an Alpha from the side.
Oh, damn. Okay, okay.
Boaster's on his feet already, round one. You'll be seeing a lot more of that. G2 almost there, turning around a 3v5 situation, but they just couldn't quite get it done. 6 shots towards the end. A bit of a freebie there as well. That's a rough one for Jorgamo. But these shots towards the end, Alpha hitting a beauty onto Jonah P, untradeable. And then cleans things up towards the end as well. He's cooking.
He's ever the showman.
I think having the fans so close to this event has just spurred him on to greater and greater showmanship heights.
Absolutely.
How?
He does love it.
And why?
He's talked in interviews as well, Boaster, about trying to just get the best possible results before he thinks about retirement.
There you go.
Which is mad, but he has been in the scene for such a long time. And his teams have been astoundingly successful. He's talked in this tournament actually about becoming the greatest leader of all time. I think if you made the list right now, it would have to.
Farouk Games, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much.
We're expecting a slow and methodical game from both of these teams. Going to be taking their time with it.
Welcome
Might
to
feel
the
like a bit of a whiplash after you come off Paper X versus Wolves.
Definitely
Welcome to
But both of these teams,
and Brazil.
they do have similar styles. FANATIC, G2, they're going to be playing to allow their opponents to plant quite a lot and make them bleed as they get into the sites.
Boom, there goes the head. There goes the head.
Head not popping.
I'm sure that's going to be a head.
Chronicle holding close.
Ooh.
Catches the contact, going for the re-swing. He's going to be traded, but Alpha towards the back. The ghost in hand, and he's going to be buying time for the rest of the team to start to get in and get active. Kayak tearing them apart. Leafs is going to try and do whatever damage he possibly can from this spot. Has the spike in his back pocket, but no time really to work with. And FANATIC, ever the disciplined team, happy to wait it out.
Kayak would go down in one shot here. Leafs seeing if he can bait somebody out. ends up falling to the Outlaw of Crash. He's posted up towards spawn. So fairly clean at the end of the day. FANATIC managing to keep three decent bits of weaponry heading into their bonus round. And I think a lot of it's about figuring out what these setups look like. You can see little bait and switch setups. On the pistol round, we saw that B trap play, where if a lurker starts walking towards B, they get hit with paranoia and pounced upon.
Right?
G2 are just going to be trying to feel this out. Figure out what kind of game FANATIC are playing. Where does Boaster want to give a little bit of space? Where does Boaster want to tell his team to fight? And this round, potential for a bit of a collapse onto Leaf if he does take that aggressive lurk timing.
Chilling for now, though. Pressure from G2 up towards B. Door's going to be opened up. That should be a bit of fear into the back of your minds. Jorgenman had a bullet to the back of the brain. Alpha,
they're going to
swift
lose this
dismissal.
round.
Leaf needs to be careful. He's getting tagged up. Bullet tagged. Still alive, though, and now reinforcements arriving. G2 looking to clear this all the way out entirely. Crashy's been dropped.
I think they're going to lose this round.
Jonah P, even a watchful eye.
No. Okay. We have a chance. We have
punished here.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird push, actually, from Kayak. I think both players that died towards B there, Kayak and Jorgenmo, probably could have played that situation better. But G2 end up slowing down the pace, hitting the brakes in a 4v3. And this allows Valen to just test out the map again. Trent still has both of these salvos to work with, too. So they could play a really powerful post plan.
Go for it. Go towards the side.
They are set up, though, to split into B, and that's exactly where Boaster's waiting with the Stinger. They don't realize A is empty.
Boaster, close quarters here with the Stinger in hand. He's got the util out. Unfortunate with the timing.
Nice. They have B. They have
run all over these players here. FANATIC.
They have B.
It's a nice in the hands of Chronicle. It's not exactly set up for success.
It's a nice use there from Trent of just a solo salvo into that B connector, the waterfall, in order to push back the players. And he's still got a salvo to play afterwards.
From A, no.
G2 want to keep this clean.
Toxins going up.
All signs pointing towards it. Alpha, he's tepid, just tiptoeing in. Chronicle will be there to trade, but it's answered back in kind. So a round on the board now for G2.
Woo! Couple of players getting fairly close to some ultimates. Jonah P and Trent winding their way up to double initiator ult. Won't probably be online here, or if they are, it'll be in the post plant. But we've got a pretty important eco swing round coming up in round 4.
There goes our Euro then.
FANATIC are going to go for an Odin purchase as well. Crashy's picking that one up to play it from tree.
When are you going to stream? At what time?
Aiming to do chip damage early on to these G2 players contesting rubble.
What time you're going to stream?
Yeah, hail of bullets and lead. Sways him for a moment. Leaf is still propped up onto rubble.
I like it though. All of these sound cues are making it feel like FANATIC need to defend rubble, and instead G2 are creeping up towards B. And Kayak, he's got to defend.
Salvos pop up into the walls. The door there, you blinds it as a back. Still G2. Oh my! You can't stand up to it. Chronicle obliterates 3.
He's out of it. Fine.
Perfect timing, even though FANATIC weren't 100% sure how that B exec was coming through.
He's going to take one at least.
Does Crashes get caught just jiggle in the corner?
Oh no.
If he did, it would open up the A site and make a 2v4 possible.
Missed the timing on it. Backs away anyway.
It's going to be very difficult for Valen and Leaf to dig themselves out of this spot. FANATIC are giving them room though, giving them respect, allowing them even to get a plant off, assuming that they'll be able to win the retake with bodies and with the paranoia, with the C's, with the horn, tools that they still have to be able to work with.
Should be a clean retake indeed. Discipline still there from FANATIC. Wing it out. Jump spot of Crashies has missed the potential timing here. Just swinging wide. Still take that fight towards it, but smoke into your face, Valen. Has to really just try and get a move on now. To the side, it's an off-angle play from him, but still player advantage. And the paranoia is beautiful. Splits them up with just the right amount of time, but no way! Valen!
Bro, Valen is with Nikala around.
What a play there!
What a round! What a round!
Too cautious from FANATIC, I think. Talked about the fact that they love playing to give their opponents respect and play the advantage in the retake. But the paranoia pushed Valen off onto an off angle, and they just weren't there ready for the trade. It was only Chronicle that swung through off Alpha's contact, and he only had about 6 health to work with. FANATIC lose a really important eco swing round here.
Bro,
now the ult cycle's going to start to get online for G2. assuming they can clean
Welcome
up
to
an
the stream.
anti-eco. FANATIC might have just lost control of this defense half early on.
No, right?
Then to the swinging.
Don't rush.
Just off the back of the heroics of the captain of G2. Two of our greatest minds in the game facing off against each other.
Okay, Paulo.
Feels like a battle of the generations when it comes to the IGLs as well. Valent, bit of a new kid on the block compared to the experience of Boaster, but he's been fantastic. And Boaster caught out in the open again, and twice already in the very first quarter of this map.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
It's not full steam ahead from G2. There's still a level of caution. FANATIC are stacking this with multitude of bodies. It is the eco round.
Yeah, I think the read here from Valent is perfect.
Be careful here with a Marshall in the hands of Alpha. That's snappy. Quick scope straight to the head. He is taken care of, though. Chronicle still trying to at least square up, take a fight, posturing ever so slightly. He's taking it with the off-angle play. Crashies is highlighted, lit up. There's no more. So G2 taking the lead early on here in Lotus.
That damage from Alpha.
Thank you so much
the
for the
Marshall.
like.
It looks like FANATIC are going to need some more moments like that. What Alpha's been able to do recently in their games has been spectacular. And those are the danger moments that you need to be able to add in there. But otherwise, G2 dealt with that really quite cleanly, even though they went into the stack in the end. And here's the ults that we were talking about. But FANATIC, by saving, have managed to get KAYAK an operator in his hands. Looking to try to get him posted up over towards A. That's where the Odin is as well. And only Alpha defending here on C. Pushed off immediately.
Salvos had to push off the early line. Doors opened up. Hello, Lee.
Okay.
Might get an early fight sooner than he potentially anticipates. He's going to play his life, try and back the hell out of there. Trent over the shoulder, that bait and switch.
Crashies, I think, made the call to fight with Boaster and didn't realize that Leaf also had backup. In came Trent. And down went the IGL again of FANATIC, who's having a rough go of things here.
Or he'll still up.
They still have the lockdown to try to play retake in one of these areas. Chronicle could actually pit off some level of contact, but it's difficult to get value out of the pit here in the mid-round when Jorgamo still has his dimensional drift to clear everything. But here it goes.
Yeah, using it nice and early. Just trying to spot out the most of these players. Don't know if he spotted it off. Yes, KAYAK. Time to strike, juice it well. Chronicle.
Why
it's
the heck are you
instinctual.
picking?
The wall was up, just anticipating G2's positioning. It's G2 who are left with that player disadvantage.
And massive ultimates dropped on the side of G2. They can no longer set up a pit of their own in the post plan. So if G2 want to win this round, it's got to be proactive. I think FANATIC, they know it. Crashies and KAYAK are waiting for this push.
Alice sees it. Jorgamo's going to be backing away. Reclaiming the space now. There's an I4. Trying to lay claim to a lot of this towards it, but there's that up angle. A rare whiff from KAYAK with how he's been playing. Okay, damage kicking in. Get a TP. Valent's barely out of there. Trying to play the crossfire setup. Chronicle wins his fight out, and that's going to be locked down to secure. FANATIC have all the advantages here. Everything in the world going their way.
That was a rush game. That was
an investment of the ultimate just to make sure, just to absolutely guarantee that FANATIC are able to tie things up.
DJ Passos, boy trade.
It's a big recovery in this round from FANATIC. They'd lost here in the 4v5. Would have been a disaster.
Nice one, bro.
But KAYAK gets good value out of his op, and honestly, the way that G2 were utilizing the Euro ult, FANATIC read the timings, and they just knew that people were going to start pushing up off the back of it. Chronicle has got great reads on that kind of stuff. He's been around the block. One of our most experienced and one of the greatest players of all time. You look at accomplishments.
The accolades, man.
He's already got 3 trophies. If FANATIC can somehow pull off this lower bracket run, he will just be out miles ahead of everybody else with 4.
Making a serious case. One of the greatest of all time. G2 feeling pressured into the timeout here.
And I think there's been a pretty serious shift in FANATIC's defense now that they've got the operator online. They are still finding holes over towards A early on, but what G2 are struggling with is being able to take the site without getting caught by one of the FANATIC players who's just trying to get one and back up. It's not...
Okay. Hey. 5 seconds. 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds.
Solo peek over towards B, which is
looks like it.
Properly aggressive. Oh no, backs it up early on. Just listening for audio cues.
A lot of presence though from G2. Prowler and a flash through the front of B, and that's triggered at least the ult, and it's a bait and switch setup. Jogamo at the gate crash, could exit.
That's beautiful. Ult baited out immediately. Perfect value there coming from the Yoru. And now Valen's got an opportunity to reset the troops and figure out in which direction G2 would like to end. Another single salvo to try to push Alpha away. They know that Alpha loves to play this angle. We've seen people even pick up attack side ops to try to punish that.
Alpha feeling the heat, and he might be tested soon, but instead G2 go in a different direction. Doors opened up. But he is called for. There's lots of ults to try and help supplement this one here. We'll see how to get used. The util sees is excellent. Crashes. He's locked G2 down.
Jog teleported into it.
TP'd past. Poster is here, laying in wait with the Odin up through the high ground. The attempt there made. Chronicle just the one before the trade is in sight. Now with that pit, he's going to be laying down towards it. Armageddon on top of it. Clearing out a lot of the extremities. G2 trying to hold on.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Alpha on the flank could be pivotal here. Trent, he knows that he's going to try to take the timing. Calls for backup, and now realizes Alpha hasn't committed.
Just gone down there. I'm not sure if these are just stray shots coming through. Alpha,
perfect trade.
It's the one traded instantly. Now the drone and a connection spots him out, highlighting across the board. Leaf is going to back away, trying to play his life. Sliders a corner, snaps towards it.
Leaf got it, bro. I told you.
Ridiculous.
Ping it out.
Perfect reads inside the pit there for a player who's well within the race for tournament MVP. Look at how tight the timing is on that one. Jorg just escaping with absolutely no damage done. Crazy kill onto Jonah P there too. But what I like from G2 is that they were hyper aware of the threat of Alpha here on the flank. Alpha is going to be playing C aggressively, and when he opens that door, Trent and Valen doubled up to deal with him. You've got to put 2 guys on Alpha at all times, and even then, Finesse will tell you, it doesn't always work.
Yeah. Alpha perfectly capable of taking over. We've seen it, especially in their prior game.
Okay, clear the box, guys.
Risky setup here, but necessary. It's a half-buy round for them. That is sharp. Over towards the mound, though. This is about to be a bloodbath that's occurring, and it's all going away. Surely a FANATIC, it's evened out into a 2v2.
Leaf, though, he caught the perfect kill on Boaster on the other side of things, and now it's all on Kayak with only a Bucky. I mean, he's just begging Valen to walk into him. If he doesn't, how is he going to take the kill?
Scurry of the footsteps. Valen is hyper aware.
And at that kind of range, Kayak, unfortunately, as good as he is, doesn't particularly have a chance. We were talking about how dangerous Alpha can be, and that setup over towards Mound almost found FANATIC a turn of the fates. The shots were good, but the weaponry, I don't think was quite up to scratch. And once again, actually, this kill, where Leaf is able to pick up Boaster, and Boaster's kind of, you know, inside his smoke again, getting caught.
Boaster's throwing a smoke in the middle. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think that is actually a bit of a recurring problem that we're seeing here, is that Boaster's frequently getting caught out. He's 2-6 right now, but it's not necessarily about the scoreboard. He could be playing, you know, those kind of numbers and be playing a great game, frankly. But at the moment, he's trying to hold important positions on defense and getting caught out by unexpected timings.
VALORANT.
And I think that's going to have to tighten up if FANATIC want a chance of being able to win the rest of these rounds on their defense half at least.
Match.
A timeout taken for FANATIC.
5-3. G2 got it. G2 got it. Okay.
See if they can dig deep.
Have
a 2-round lead so far for G2.
It might be 9-3.
It's well within the realms of being able to recover, but when you say it's a 2-round lead, FANATIC also won the pistol here.
Yeah.
So, you know, out of the other 6 rounds that we've seen, when rifles have started getting on board, G2 have been very consistent. Okay. And this time, no operator in the hands of FANATIC.
No
they don't have the wealth to be able to put that into Kayak's hands.
They're about to get...
And once more set up to go for some kind of B split attempt. The spike headed up here and a potential for a wrap through blue room.
Potential for a brawl. This is FANATIC stacking 3 bodies. Trying to retake some of that rubble control away from where Leaf has just been lurking.
Leaf, he kind of needs to kill that Prowler to create the threat that he could still lurk.
And there's a pop in play. They want to try and get a move on here. This is G2 trying to see if they can lay claim to that B site. Still rain down a hail of bullets. That's just from Boaster. He's going to be supplementing the fire, just trying to make it nice and awkward for G2 while a flank occurs.
Okay.
Do they have enough people to be able to deal with Chronicle? There is massive pressure on Leaf right now.
Tested.
Nice.
Only just a one. This is FANATIC now. This is their time to shine. They've got a lot of control now towards B main. Flip at the site though. G2 looking to try and take this one up through heaven and a reflank of Valen, but time needs to be played. It's already ticking away. It's up to Trent to see if he can delay, but smoke in your face, what really can you do from this spot? Timing is taken into a 2v2. They're going to know where these players are to smoke. Obfuscate, hides the intent.
Where is your
Kayak is there swinging through. Seals it up nice and pretty for FANATIC.
Bit of a strange situation there towards the end. A couple of the G2 players left in the clutch, and it almost looked like they didn't know where the flank was.
Yeah.
A B pop. Alpha swings through, but it's this flank play that made the difference. In previous rounds, Leaf has been escorted into rubble at the start of this round. He got pushed out immediately. He got caught by a Horn, Prowler, and that gave FANATIC the confidence to be able to double push fully out through A and get the rat play working. The more they can get the read on that, the more they can actually figure out exactly where Leaf is on the map, the better their defense half is going to look.
Crazy.
And they've knocked G2 down onto a light buy, but this squad is diabolical with the Stingers.
They certainly are. Alpha.
He's so far up.
Well, really far up. It's going to be a paranoid blinded up, and there's already players just on your
Get
tail.
him.
Trying to hunt you down, Jorgamo. This goes quad. It is carnage of what's occurring. Alpha decayed. Caught up into the corner from the seas, and Valen was very quick, able to take up most of that space. The pit has to be vacated. It's a wasted ult from Chronicle.
Snakebite easily could have claimed a couple of lives there, though everybody on G2 was weak, but that was chaos. Alpha, with the wrong read of what was happening, they thought it was going to be an A-side default again, and G2 have found an opportunity to pick up a couple of weapons and slow things down a little. It's looking more even now.
I would have hold back within the
Rogue smoke from G2.
That's what I would have done.
Praying that FANATIC would go for some form of re-exploration, clearing up the map.
And I think this is a really important situation where you've got to look at Boaster again. He's going to be doing this jump spot. He's been caught out in positions like this, throwing smokes a couple of times. He's got to make sure that he maintains this information.
30 seconds left.
He's gone forwards. Trust the advantage. He's got a read, and it is a good one. A solo player, Trent just trying to condition with that drone. There's the punish, Kayak towards the back. Alongside Chronicles, a stalwart defense. The lock and key here. There's only one left to stand against it. Jonah P. It's messy, it's scrappy, but FANATIC are up even.
FANATIC is
and I think it deserved a pop-off there from Boaster because it's something that he struggled with a little bit so far in this defense half, but he played that situation beautifully, didn't he? Had the read that it was going to be a fake, stepped forwards rather than backwards, managed to get the timing on the drone and catches Trent as well. So not only does he get the kill, he feeds full info to the rest of his team. Guys, this is going to be a C read here. 100% this A pressure is fake. And this is now an even half, 5-5. With arguably better ultimates here for FANATIC to close out on defense.
Door's going to be opened up. This is G2. Attempting a bit of that slow siege.
That is so much damage onto Jorgamo there as well.
Down to 61.
I think he would have been aiming to pick up an orb in this round, see if he could get the ultimate online. 4 players from FANATIC over here doing a re-clear, full re-clear of rubble.
A lot of util. You see that Paranoid, you see the Haunt.
Could be the timing to try to activate somebody like Leaf on the other side of the map, but Alpha's waiting, and his...
Just as the turret gets broken, Kayak is looking for more. He's stunned up and misses it. Trent just cleans him up.
That's amazing from Jorg and Trent.
All on both now, though. Feeling the heat. It's Paranoid in your face, near-sighted. Plenty of bodies about to be coming towards you. Nightfall avoided. Chronicle. Again, the spam over the shoulder. Curtain raised up. Wall of his own, just trying to stunt it. G2, though, not to be dismayed, trying to get a bit of a move on, trying to claim that A site. Moving forwards, that game of time, it's Chronicle. Gets the better of the adversary.
He's been really good so far, Chronicle, a pillar for his team to rely on. And G2, they feel like they have to be the ones making the play. Health disadvantage is so huge, but look at the wrap. Look at Alpha, yeah, already aware of the possibility.
Yeah, this lockdown, drop down should be sealing all of this one up, except Alpha Oversteps himself, and lockdown's going to be broke down regardless. Chronicle lays down that snake bite, and now there's a timing to be taken. FANATIC getting a run on, getting a scurry on. It's being stuck to half, heads are popped. Chronicle dismissed entirely.
Bueno, Silva, welcome to the stream.
Another round for Valen where he comes through in the clutch, and my God, what a call as well. Dismantling Kayak's ult. Oh, it landed on the pillar too.
Was awesome.
Tragic the way that
no
splash
matter,
worked, but it's the final call. This double round up through heaven and around behind onto Alpha. Alpha decides to swing aggro on a timing, thinking that it'll catch them off guard, and maybe doesn't account for the fact that they're both going for the flank. And the fact it was planted for heaven as well, it's a really nice way to play that situation.
One last chance in his half, though, for FANATIC to try and draw it level. Gigabyte sending it flying forward here with a dimensional drift. I made this feel like a lot of A pressure, and there are bodies behind it. G2 are looking to at least take this space. Doors are open wide. Paranoia already expended. Most is going to be using it. This is Anarchy. Crashes to leave them behind. A lot of good work put in, though, and now it's up to Boaster to do the rest.
That was not required. That was not required.
Obliterating G2.
Bro, incredibly aggressive swing there from Jorgamo.
Why?
Moving forwards, no committal. Also just looking for that information, and the timing potentially is here for Trent.
Alpha, yeah, worried that he's getting flanked from B main, even though the turret is actually watching it. So I think Alpha probably could have just stayed over here. But Chronicle is tightening the net at all times.
Toxins going up.
Putting a squeeze on him now. Already revealed to the side there. Chronicle, easy cleanup, 6-2-6 at the half.
A strong recovery in this half from FANATIC after it looked like G2 were running away with things. Big round from Crashies as well in round 12, as Jorg was hunting him down from behind. I think this implies we've got a great game on our hands without even we've started here on Lotus.
You got
competitive between these two juggernaut teams. All the way through, 6-2-6. Could not ask for a better start to the series.
G2 Hammy.
Hammy, how has Toronto been treating you so far?
Honestly, Toronto's been amazing. The people here are amazing, and just like, yeah, overall great.
What about the event? You were telling me you were walking around the venue the whole time, checking out the activations and everything. How's the experience right here in Masters Toronto?
The experience is amazing. I mean, like I said, the people here in general, they're just like lovely to meet.
Game, salve, my
That's
friend.
us, man. That's Canadian. We just love hugs.
Yeah, I do.
How is your Dead by Daylight?
For G2, talk me through the Teho from Trent. Why is he bringing it back?
Okay, I mean, I feel like Trent gets too much disrespect. He doesn't need Teho. It doesn't matter who he's playing. He's the best initiator I've ever seen play the game. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to hear it from your words as well. And also tell me why G2's in the golden era and why they're going to win this series against FANATIC.
Yes, we'll be winning this series. Not only this series, but we'll be winning the entirety of Masters, I think.
Oh, the whole Masters.
We will be winning Masters, yes.
Okay, and so Wolves coming up next. You think they're going to have this easy against Sufat Baby and crew?
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, I want you to give encouraging words to the G2 players playing up there and also to your fans around the world.
Okay, honestly, G2 doesn't even need it. They're going to win. But I hope everyone's doing good. I mean, that's I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I love you guys.
You got it all. Hammy, thank you so much for your time. Let's toss it back to the game.
Two teams here that are just neck and neck, and honestly, even just looking at the map pool itself, we have our opener of Lotus. It's an interesting one. Listen, the desk was kind of talking about it when it came up as well, because it's a great map for FANATIC. It's one of the ones that they have been lights out on all year.
Oh yes,
yeah, it's at the top of both teams'
the house.
How
are you,
I
my
think
friend?
you really get the clash between both of the callers. Opposite sides of the spectrum, actually, in terms of results. You can see reflected in the Coinbase Econ report. Chronicle having an amazing half. Boaster struggling a little bit. Valent's at the top of the scoreboard, actually, if you're just looking at kills as well. But I think more than productivity, it's going to be the game plans that are going to make the difference here in half number 2. I mean, when I've been looking at these teams, G2, they play for retake a ton. They're on their defense half. They've been winning almost 40% of them. FANATIC are winning post plants 83% of the time. One of those stats has got to give today. Is it going to be FANATIC closing out these rounds cleanly?
Placido Styles.
Okay.
Leaping into the fray across for that info. Leaf break the Prowler. Back himself out, and it is slow and steady for FANATIC.
They are the slowest team on the attack side that we have, but they're extremely diligent with it. They use the time to make sure that they dismantle trap plays. And yeah, it can get tense towards the end. The clock can sometimes be Bosa's worst enemy. But Alpha might be his best friend.
What the heck?
What an opener for FANATIC.
I mean, that should be signed, sealed, and delivered on the pistol round. FANATIC with the potential here, a great opportunity to win both pistols on this map. And that can make all the difference in spots like this where both teams are good. Jorg might be going for a bit of a re-exploration over towards B as well. He's just trying to backfill this space, but it's all on Valent to defend here with one Paranoia. Are they pivoting into B? Actually, maybe Jorg will get his chance.
They might do. They want to try and go for the B here. There's only 25 seconds left, FANATIC. What is the call? Bit of a scramble, but they're going to land over towards A.
There goes the fall back. Okay.
No one really there to meet them. Valent.
It's a nice gap.
I take a few risks of his own out towards the blue room, and this is all covered in time. Kayak is there.
Bro.
Cutting down his two players. Pistol round.
Double pick, right?
The back pocket here for FANATIC, and like you said, it could make all the difference in a map like this.
Powers out.
Absolutely flawless. I mean, the damage from the first hit, collating through onto Jonah P. And then how clean Kayak looks with these shots coming out from his ghost afterwards.
Nice. That's it.
It's a beautiful round. It's clean, it's sharp.
Whoever it was.
I mean, it's Kayak. I think you should probably give credit to your newest player. It's going to be tough for G2 to recover from this kind of situation. You will sometimes see them force, even on defense, but this is not one of those times.
Okay.
G2 just playing for money in the bank.
He always manages to give hits through the Marshall.
Another
right?
really important thing to pay attention to between these two teams is who has more of the utility once we get into post-plant scenarios. In the previous round, hello.
Yeah, they're going to be gearing up. It's a Paranoia in the back pocket. Primed by Valent, looking for signs of life at the spam. Surely that's it, but they're actually waiting for a little bit further. There it is. Now the goal bomb's going to be all for, but that Paranoia did not connect. Chronicle. Unbelievable form. And Alpha will clean up Judy.
Hyper confident, pushing through. Just allowing the players on FANATIC to build up more and more towards those ultimates. Players getting streaks and Jorg trying to get cleaned up.
It's nice for the class to give it a damage, surely, but one more round nevertheless here to FANATIC. Chronicle is 19 and 10 right now.
He's been amazing. He's just been so calm. And like I said earlier, he's been a rock that the rest of the team can rely on in these difficult positions. He's not making the play to change the round necessarily, but when G2 force the aggression into him, he just collects it and absorbs it perfectly. You can't get past him. So FANATIC with a bonus round, but a bonus round that they've also forced an attacking operator
Thank you
into.
so much.
Punish Leaf, he's been peeking this one often.
Thank you for the like.
The defensive setup is
like 21, Salve, boy trade, my
G2
friend.
making changes to it. Putting them through
No,
round. There needs to be some
that's a trap.
call for help.
Get away.
Wide and through. Leaf is on essentially single digits. Barely alive. Readgear Armor eventually going to be kicking in.
Both teams getting a read on what's going on here. FANATIC realizing they're fighting super heavy over Mound and trying to react into A and realize they got caught by the drone there. Decide to hold on for a moment. But G2 also got the read that there's an attacking op, so they'll have to be hyper aware of areas that Alpha's going to try to peek.
Are they going to push?
Door opened up here by Chronicle. Bit of fake pressure, trying to pull some of these G2 players. Done so successfully.
Yeah, it's really nice. It pulls all of the attention from the defenders towards the door and frees up this re-exploration towards Mount. This was the area, remember, that G2 were fighting over, so it's likely they would have left.
That's a nice one.
Second thoughts here for FANATIC, looking like they wanted to end over towards C, but despite now, it's way over towards A.
Maybe overthinking it just a tad here, overcooking.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
Jorgamo not budging. Leaf even just lying in wait.
There's 4 players defending this area of the map.
Yeah.
Are they pivoting B and trying to connect with these guys through the door?
Leaf,
go ahead.
Broken. No clearance onto the corner. Alpha has his back. Not on my watch is what he's saying. That attack side operator, but time is still becoming a bit of an issue. And shots are rattled. You can feel it. It's getting hectic. It's getting messy. Trent cleaning up onto Chronicle. Time is against them now. It's fully against this FANATIC squad. And G2, they make the call.
God, bro.
Not sure who it was, but to stack the bodies in the final moment there over towards A.
They almost got punished for it as well, though, Brent. That round is on a nice edge. You see Chronicle come through from tree, and he's got players running away from him. I mean, the fact that Leaf also gets caught in this situation, the Guardian Barrel just sticking out slightly, but it's this kill, Trent on Chronicle, that I think really changes the game, because G2 then can commit fully to the retake and the flood. And Josh is begging them to play time at the end there, because there was no opportunity for a plan.
Coaches are not pissed off. They let them enjoy.
Very fast play to be made. That operator picked up into the hands of Leaf now.
I think it's a great call to go for the defensive op for Leaf, because they know that Leaf is going to be on this line. They're trying to punish him with marshals, with attack ops. And if he's got a long-range weapon of his own, he can hold it down.
He's got to be careful here. Spots the body. How do you want to play this one? Backs himself into a corner.
He does have a little bit of support from Jonah P.
Poison's off.
And one of the things that this G2 comp is really good at is being able to passively regain information in the mid-round from the Teho drone, from the Prowlers, from the Haunt. They have used all of those now, though, and only Jonah P's Haunt will be coming back later on.
Here.
Chronicle just sticking around to try to break that. Make it feel like they could be going for a C re-hit. There's the Horn, though. Chronicle breaks it. But the shot comes from so far back that G2 already have the read anyway.
Valorant's going to be seeing signs of life definitely occurring now.
Cover going out.
A long con here for FANATIC, just trying to earn up a few of those ults. Really working the map in the process, and they found themselves a slight gap in towards B.
FANATIC have been ending with these B splits a ton. I think G2 are fairly ready for this. Jonah and Jorg.
Jonah sat down onto the side here, spots it, catching the contact, a bit of spam as well. Comes through, this is Alpha and Chronicle. Playing claim over towards this side. On to B in the plan now to go down, nothing to push this away.
He's managed to upgrade to a Vandal. Can he strike a dagger blow back to his own region?
Huge upgrades. Stun. Has to be sidestep Leaf. Just snaps at the crash. He's an off angle by Chronicle, baiting out with the first shot. Now you're going to see that discipline.
That's fine, that's fine.
Coming through.
They still have op.
G2 never without it, and it has brought it level 8-8.
Both teams playing that round pretty well, honestly. Just at the end of the day, a weapon difference. That's a sick kill, though, from Leaf. You can see that Kayak, he knows exactly how Leaf wants to play it, and Leaf is still just daring him to come and challenge. FANATIC have a lockdown to try to work with here. Difficult to counter. But G2 pretty happy playing the retakes as well. Stacking 3 bodies over towards Mound, expecting FANATIC to go for a punish of Leaf.
And Leaf is holding it. They want it to feel like it's just Leaf with a bit of solo pressure. Way ahead of this one, still they're going to reveal their hands.
That's
the
nice,
rifle shots ring out. Even trying to see if he can punish somebody going for that jump. But the Haunt out into the open, counter spam.
That's a nice
Kayak trying to get the punish online, but
he was believing in the Haunt maybe a little bit too much, just stood into that Omen one way, got caught. Feels like G2 have been winning a lot of these opening duels.
Out of B, they only got one option.
Drone's going to be expended for the re-clearing walls on walls.
And because FANATIC keep losing this fight over towards Mound, G2 can stack 2 bodies B, 2 bodies A, and be pretty happy, no matter where Boaster calls the team to end.
Tight to the corner, Jorgamo.
Nice one.
That's the escape policy.
Alpha detected over here by the Haunt.
Just trying to spam. They might expect it to be, following the traces. Still going to be alive for now, 41 health.
And in a 3v5 like this, you don't really want to invest the ultimates from Alpha Air and Crashies unless they can find a pick beforehand.
30 seconds left.
But look at the time. This is one of the problems with how slow Fnatic play. You get into spots like this where you're down and you're not really in a position where you can even make a play to turn the round.
Save the round.
This is just going to be a save.
This round is going to be a save
waiting out the clock, and it's not a high energy way to end a round.
No, don't push.
Feels,
don't push.
I've got to
10
imagine a
seconds
bit
left.
brutal to have to give up in spots like this, especially because it allows G2 to then put pedal to the metal and try to punish. And that is such a punish. Looked like Leaf was just running the operator in to its doom.
To his demise, though.
Damn.
2 rifles intact for Fnatic, and that was the goal of it. But you're right, it's a low-energy way to end the round, to think about what's coming next.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's that moment one-way finding value. George just spots Kayak, who's trying to get value from the horn. Like, you can see what Kayak's going for,
Gun here.
but it's difficult amount. And Fnatic are going to take a tack timeout here. I think it's desperately needed. They've won both pistols in this map. G2 didn't respond with a force at all, and yet they're still behind 8-9. And they did do a good job of getting back into the map in their defense half. Here on the attack side, though, I think one of the largest problems is they're never actually pushing G2 away from mount.
Yeah.
And if you don't have mount control, if Leaf is always getting information over there,
9-8.
why would they ever want more than one person on
I
sim?
still think that G2 is going to win.
And that makes it way harder for Boaster to call.
I still think that G2 is going to win. All right.
Control instead of bound at the start of the round.
He's trying to take this one. Overwhelming with the bodies in the util. Setting Valen up onto Rubble. He is revealed towards the tail end there by their own horn. So Fnatic get the information.
And I do like this smoke that Boaster goes for over towards Rubble, but it's just been cleared immediately by the salvo. And G2 weren't really worried about it.
What? Was that a hit?
The stray shots.
That was a hit.
Leaf has actually been pushed back this time, though.
Yeah.
Not too much contestation. And a nice
only
smoke
for
from
one guy.
Boaster just right on top of
two
Leaf's
guys.
face.
Okay.
And suddenly, G2 don't have the same level of information over towards C, but they're still playing C soft for retake and stacking bodies on A, expecting this re-clear, and they are so right.
Who's catching the play though? Strength, jump spotting. Potentially sees it, Valen unaware. Trying to get a move on, trying to get a runaway. Kayak! Just obliterating the opposition. It's up to Jonah P to pick up those pieces. See if he can make a little bit more from it. What's going to be fainting? Getting a bit of a run on. It's
No
trying to catch
way.
the timing. There's no way. There's no way at all! It's shut down by Alpha. Safe pair of hands. Jorgamo
Spike planted.
in his hands, trying to go for it. Flick of the wrist does not connect. A way to exit other than having his ult, but committing it in this spot in a 2v4. Not wise.
No, he's still,
even getting a wrap around.
he's still going to be able to afford an op in the next round anyway, so
Last player standing.
when
Taking
Joel
the
gets
peek.
caught,
You got the op.
Fnatic getting it up to 9 here. But I think really you're going to be looking at how G2
What is
executed in
going
some of
on?
those moments. They had the right read. They knew that it was going to be an A re-clear, but they didn't have somebody taking contact well
Fnatic
enough
is
for
on
Valen to play off
different
this.
level now.
Kayak snuck all the way back in off the back of Chronicles Viper Wall.
I don't know why
and
did
then
he
I
stop
think you could argue the
Ray.
execution here wasn't great either. Jonah finds the
one.
timing, utilizing the fact they're on land. It's difficult to hear these kind of footsteps, but he can't land the shot. And Alpha shuts it down. Alpha once more is going to go for the attack side operator here. Taking a peek. Seeing if he can punish a jump spot on A.
Same explosion of util from G2 looking to take control towards A Rubble. Both players up.
This smoke is a really nice adaptation. Coming out of the tactical timeout, it really has neutralized Leaf and allowed them to regain mount control. I mean, look what it's done. You've got the pull from one of the rotates. You've also got this Gatecrash in spawn as well to try to support Leaf. And it's just softened up the A side of the defense. Really good macro adjustments from FANATIC's coaches.
All grouped up now from FANATIC though. Trying to push players off away from A-Rubble and just trying to take it slowly, steadily, but still that's bullets raining down. Jonah P is there. Nightfall preemptive, and that's going to be a tag onto absolutely everyone. It's the information they were looking for. You see him push it out by G2 across the board.
Toxin screen down.
Leaf, he's tucked himself in.
It's a dangerous spot as well for Chronicle. He gets support from Alpha yeah now, but he's the one with the spike.
Valor broken. Leaf will respect it. Off onto the corner. This is 25 seconds left. Where is this ending?
Boaster's trying to fake as if it's headed towards B. I think the spike should be headed to A. And that means Jonah has a chance for redemption after his failed play in Tree in the last round.
Spike's disjointed though. They've already got players in and through. G2 looking to try and flood defend this one all the way. Dimensional drift spots it all out. No guessing game whatsoever. 9 seconds and it's all dropped down. It's all crumbled. FANATIC.
Hold it.
Chronicle. It's cheeky with the kills, consolation prizes at the end of the day, but it's not a round win. That's what FANATIC were looking for.
That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
Second time in this half that G2 have won based on the clock. And you won't see any other team in the tournament that loses as often as FANATIC. The EMEA teams do tend to be slower.
Spike down.
But FANATIC, honestly, they take it to a whole different level. And they're getting punished here. Trying to work the map as much as they possibly can, but not taking the right risks at the right time to try to push things forwards. And G2 have knocked the economy down at FANATIC. No, they decide to go for the force buy. They've got everything up here. FANATIC's eco still doing all right. But 3 of the players are on light armor.
Investing into it. Salvage towards the back of Rubble. FANATIC are grouped up though. Flash overhead. No signs of life from what G2 can see.
Okay,
yeah, passive kind of setup. Not looking to go for the reclear, the refight G2.
Toxins going up.
Thank you so much.
But why would they need to? I mean, Leaf has still got pretty good information over towards Mount.
Welcome to the stream.
Jonah P is getting them info on B as well. They're set up quite nicely right now for an A or B finish.
Paranoia is going to be sweeping through, dissecting this B site. Go either way though. Okay, lockdown.
Okay.
Drop down into the corner now. One salvo is going to be weakening him, but not enough damage to really do the job. They clear most of the way here for FANATIC.
Okay, they still have
this
time.
plant is almost destined to go down, and my eyes immediately go to this flank that's coming around the back. Leaf might have an opportunity, but it's going to be so difficult inside Chronicle's pit.
And look at a draw.
They need one
G2 to
kill
try and play retake into this one, a bit of random spam perhaps.
1 kill for the ult.
FANATIC should be set up to bring it level once more to the post plant. Util is even available. Again, bullets raining down. Not much cover. FANATIC will take it. Paranoia nade, ricocheting, rebounding. Tons of util at their disposal here. They've completely shut G2 out of the picture.
It's 10-all.
Straight kill from Leaf.
They're also going to do crazy economic damage to FANATIC because they're just essentially trapping them in the site. One escape path found though from Crashies and Kayak, so at least 3 guns are going to be maintained here. G2 never really committed to that one. Definitely felt like there was more opportunities for G2 to go for spam, to try to get inside the pit and make something of it. But when Jorg got shut down, he kind of gave up the ghost. And FANATIC draw things level again at 10-10. It's actually a rough buy here for G2. Guardian for Jorgamo. Valen only with a stinger.
Might be
and a big
signs of it. Yeah, big brawl. Signs of it. It's a season of nade. Jorg's TP just not in time to save him there. Kayak. A wonderful opener.
We've seen that previously too. Jorg, he tried to go for the teleport in the moment, but was just a little too slow on it. That's a great start for FANATIC. I think they've really struggled with the opening kills.
Very proactive from G2, looking to try and push all the way out of Rubble.
Missed it. Okay.
There's a Paranoia, even expending it, but this is being held.
Okay, they know
all the way
that's
further
a
back,
backstep.
crossfire setups. I think they're good for them, and G2 realized that would be an overextension.
I think all of that pressure, though, that was on the flank as G2 pressured forwards, it actually pulled the defenders back and it allowed Leaf to get set up on C properly.
Jonath's still staying around. There's going to be smokes on smokes. Hiding the intent of FANATIC. Has to be respected. Horn's not going to be broken.
Drop the spike.
He's still going to be sticking around here with 40 seconds left.
Trent has salvos and he has the ult to be able to work with. Boaster needs to call for them to accelerate at some point here.
Tempo needs to be increased.
He's trying to bait out the salvo or the ult, but this spike is miles away still.
25 seconds left.
Surely this isn't going to be another round lost to the clock.
You're only just making a move over towards it. G2 still have bodies over towards you. Jonath's going to be hearing most of this, and that's the Armageddon. As soon as doors opened up, a slightest of pockets to play inside. And all the way forward, Jonath has to be that line of defense. Moving now, 8 seconds remaining to G2. Reinforcing the site. Still time left. Alfie is going to try and defend this one. Defend it, he will. Plant is down. Wincon potentially there. Alpha!
Whoa!
All in his hands!
Bro!
What a ridiculous round from FANATIC. I don't think they should have ever been able to get that one across the line, but it's individuals that power their way through with the clock all against them. Yes, they got the early kill and set themselves up in a decent spot, but they were just barreling towards the site, desperate to try to get something going. And again, the superstar, I think, is Alpha here. Defending crashes. Leaf a little too slow to be able to deny. And then Alpha,
RDG game.
he wins that 1v1 towards the end, even with Leaf holding for it. Josh is not happy about that. G2 have taken attack timeout instantly.
Bro, seriously, bro. They had that round. They had that round. And they just screwed up. They just screwed up. "25 seconds. Ah. Okay.
Seconds left.
It's up to FANATIC to try and get a move on here. There's a round you cannot afford to lose. Not against the weaker weaponry. G2. Sidestep. Nightfall. Going to be avoided, at least for now. Util flying forward. Sees. Not quite a connection. Paranoia. Sweeps forwards. Boaster's there. Ready to take the fight and lay claim to most of this site. He needs some help when he's at it. Kayak drifting into it. Trying to take the fight straight to them. It's a bloodbath up towards heaven. One away from the ult. Kayak is going to be happy with that. And the last one spotted out, rooted out.
Toxins going up.
People just look to do some damage here. And Kayak's been set up perfectly. Showstopper for round 23.
That shows you that the composure is still there for FANATIC.
Gonna win.
Not getting rattled towards the end, still trying to optimize even the smallest bits.
Look at this.
And that could be an ultimate that's a game changer and stops G2 from being able to pull off a comeback. Both of these teams have got good mentals. But G2 are going to need 2 really clean rounds here, even against the ult coming out from Kayak. Jorg and Trent have been really good at denying value from Kayak's ultimate when the sides were swapped. But I think a Showstopper is exactly the right kind of tool to complement Boaster's slower calling style, because it will allow you just to open up the sights towards the end of the rounds.
Allows you to speed up entirely. G2, they don't want to be budged.
Toxin screen down.
Draining themselves here. Leaf and Valin out towards C Mound. Stray shots forwards, but now here's the pressure. Valor broken. Stray shots, you know, the Valin sticking around. Leaf. Valin eventually going to concede that space and give it up. On either side is a deep drone and a deep push. G2 getting active over towards A.
Alpha, yeah, has a little bit of an opening on B. But this fight over towards A could define the round. Alpha's in on B.
Yep, Alpha is completely cracked over the B side, and now putting a squeeze, a pincer play over towards A. All that aggression of G2 was just dissipated. They're the ones left scrambling. Showstopper down. Just tagging into the cone. Jorgman will get it, but Crashies is there. Cleans it up. 3 players left to stand here. Boaster with the plan is going to be sticking this safety in the back of his mind, because Crashies is watching it all. Leaf slipped his way in.
They were stuck in
found that timing and that gap. This is it, surely. FANATIC on the cusp, on the brink of taking map 1. G2's map pick, it's all on to Leaf. 6 bullets left, timing not there. It's a 13-10 to finish here for our opener between these 2 juggernauts.
Just a first map.
And it's a deadly duo for FANATIC.
Just a first map. And FANATIC's got it. That's fine, that's fine. G2 can still do it, right? We still got 2 map to win. G2 got it. G2 got this. They have to win. They have to. Hello, hello. Support with the like, this way, keep the community strong.
Agora.
Bora.
Vai bagunçar tudo.
Bora,
Como é que vocês estão? Deixa meu like, entra aí, vamos papear. Responde a minha enquete, a nossa, vocês estão olhando já? O coração chegou. Eu adoro coração, gente. Marata Game, seja bem-vindo, meu amigo. Eu te vi ontem, tá? Hoje também, né? Vocês foram gravada aquela live. Como é? VALORANT, um negócio assim. Eu não sei falar, não. Uhum. Você sempre joga com alguém, né, Marata? Isso aí. Marata tá quase chegando lá também, hein? Isso aí. Em breve já tá chegando a 1K. Eu vejo lá com gente da Índia, do Brasil, de tudo quanto é canto você joga. Então, assim, a galera que segue é muita gente. Boa tarde, meu querido. Estava no anúncio? Vou botar o outro aqui para você responder. Eu não liguei, não compartilhei. Vou dar uma compartilhada aqui para geral saber que eu estou no ar. Né? Já teve até uma chamada aqui para mim. Eu não vi, que eu deixo tudo silenciado. Aparelho aqui... Não gosto de barulho. Você fica quietinha aí. Aposto que será coisa sua. Influenciadores. São terríveis. Se eles não veem a gente não vai, eles chamam. Amigos. Era ele mesmo. Cara, o que tu quer comigo? Semana que vem eu vou fazer bastante trabalho no Instagram, hein? Outro tá chegando, Shen. Depois eu vou ver. Ih, joguei meu código fora. Tem cupom lá. Gente, eu quero falar sobre isso também. Sobre a nova monetização, quem já é monetizado e quem já é monetizado com as 3.000 horas também, que já pode ativar o shopping, né? Ver lá se já pode, se tem essa... Para poder...
Radhe, radhe.
É muito bom, Marata. Quem é o outro? Ah, minha amiga! Thank you! Sejam todos muito bem-vindos, tá? Todos vocês. Se eu precisar, gente, eu tenho que... Só que eu não sabia que tinha futebol aqui. Hoje tem futebol. Meus vizinhos são felizes. Deixa eles curtir um pouco. Like na live, quem puder. Vou compartilhar com o Twitter. Claro. Em primeiro lugar, eu compartilhar. Compartilho tudo. Vou compartilhar no Facebook com mensagem. E essa semana que vem agora eu vou trabalhar, eu acho que 1 ou 2 vezes aqui, mais vídeos e 1 ou 2 lives. Vou voltar meu trabalho no Instagram novamente também. Eu tinha dado uma parada lá. Caroline, fã de Leonardo, cantor. Seja bem-vindo. Boa tarde, amiga. Noêmia, boa tarde, amiga. Eda, quanta gente linda na live, ó. Marata Gamer tá aí. Gente, procure conhecer um ao outro, tá? Marata tá perto de chegar a 1K também. Não esquece que o lugar de amizade é dentro da minha comunidade, tá? Mas se vocês puderem... Nem sei quem eu dei moderação. Ô... Carolina,
seconds. Boy trade, boy
eu tava
trade.
fazendo isso. Por quê?
Are you not streaming today?
Foi a Marata, Noêmia, minha querida, seja bem-vinda. Passa na minha comunidade. Vocês têm que ativar a comunidade de vocês, gente. Com certeza. Malima, seja bem-vinda.
Você é louco. Depois eu vou ter que mexer de
Fã
novo.
de Leonardo. Boa tarde. Todos de boa tarde. Só não me peça toll. Deixa o like. Né, Noemi? Que eu não sou muito esse negócio aí. Eu antes dava topo, mas só quando é para bater cá. Eu peço a vocês que, se possível, respondam a enquete, tá? Moderação eu dei. Agora, se não pegou, é porque aí já é um caso da nova comunidade. Eu não sei, mas eu creio que sim. Pegou. Depois eu recolho elas. Gente, vocês sabiam que é muito fácil, até pelo celular, a gente recolher as moderações? Esse aqui eu vou botar na comunidade do chat. Quem não está usando o computador, que muitas vezes fica lá com muita moderação, não sabe, é muito fácil. Não, você não. É isso. É muito fácil recolher as moderações no celular. Tá por aqui, mas não entrou aí ainda, Juju?
Such a great sequence,
Gente,
different attack side ideas and how they approach that.
Yeah, they had a hard time fighting G2's comp head on, and after this timeout here, you can see they just make some light noise, a fake TP and a smoke, a classic Boaster smoke, kind of keeps G2 occupied a little, then they go back, re-clear the C side, come back A. Just started to take the game a little bit less head on, and I really feel like the next few rounds built the story. They did it again, then they kind of snuck out A together, and then they just took a head-on fight. And I think it really speaks to Boaster's IGLing, that he was able to take that timeout and just keep building on it.
Yeah, because we were talking about that a little bit, right? Like a lot of people always are giving big credit to the coaches coming out of the timeout and what game plan they did, but there's always going to be different things. Your opponents do different ults that come online. It is really difficult for an IGL to kind of perfectly sequence those rounds together, even with input from a coach.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really, really impressive.
Yeah, and let's not forget, too, Jonah P had an opportunity to get a nasty 2K in that situation, and unfortunately was shooting cotton candy at his opponent, and it was like, oh, get this off of me, and then they just shot him, and then that was it. Which, those heartbreaker rounds, man, those are the things you do not want to see happen. But that does take us to our HyperX Reflex moment here, because this one's on the other side of the field, Mimi, with G2's Valen. This is what you want to see from the team more consistently as we get ready for map 2.
On the attack side, G2 had to seemed to have a read about finishing B in a lot of these rounds. Almost every time it felt like on this attacking side, they were getting posted into post plants on this site. And this team, even without peak Teo, which is what a lot of people attributed their post-plant success to, they are still such an incredible team at setting up in these kind of rounds. Here, it's some incredible shots from Valen, but Trent on the nerf Teo, balancing his utility. The way guys like Valen and Leaf are repositioning means that G2 is one of those squads that is shutting down the retake so often. And FANATIC, one of the teams in this tournament who is trying to retake the most. So a challenge for them to get back in on this G2 team.
Yeah, just insane. I mean, just in a spot like that, Valen just has nothing to do but move his crosshair around. He's in the middle of nowhere, and he really knows how to close it out.
Yeah, truly finding ways to succeed, but it was not going to be enough there. FANATIC managed to squeak them out there. Now we're going to hear from the coach of G2 as we get ready for map 2.
Let's see
We're
what
moving on to map 2, and G2 have a chance to redeem themselves. Now, Leaf was such a nuisance, as he always is. On map 1, I think FANATIC really struggled to deal with him. What kind of role can we expect on map 2?
I think it's more of the same. I noticed that FANATIC likes to enable their best players to really shine and take their duels, like Alpha. Took a little inspiration of that. I'm like, hey, Leaf, you should go contest them. You know, like if they're gonna take the space, I want you to put them down. So, yeah, I mean, we're just greenlighting him a little bit more, and we'll see what happens.
I look forward to seeing it. Good luck on map 2.
I do love to hear what he's saying there, because Leaf to me felt so strong when he was taking those risks. When he was playing as a C anchor Kaplan, he was constantly walking back into space and finding a ton of success there.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking the op up on Viper, like constantly had the info. Even after getting a pick, he would find a way to get back on that line and be able to say, hey guys, they're not coming to C. Don't worry about C. Just look out for that A hit.
But to that point that he was talking about Alfier, though, that's exactly what we were seeing from him, man. He was going for those plays, going for those fights, Mimi. And it did feel like Alfier, with that confidence, it's very hard if you're FANATIC to like be like, hey, you know what, guys, we got to play off of that. We got to feed this energy here, because Alfier is giving that to them in spades.
You absolutely do. Kaplan, I mean, FANATIC plays a bit of a weirder comp with this double duelist, the Yoru, the Raze. Talk the viewers through what should they expect out of this comp going into map 2?
Yeah, they have a lot of different looks here. They're able to move the Viper Lurk around to different spots. Sometimes they throw a really neat orb mid that makes some pressure. They can go fast, they can go slow, but they do have to respect the G2 Breach. They should have a little bit of a hard time fighting head on for any space against the Breach, kind of similar to Lotus actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. G2 lot staking on this game. They lost.
Can anyone suggest me the best gaming mouse? I mean, I am only relying on Razer right now. I got 2, but I guess it's time to change from wired to wireless. From wired to wireless. From wired to wireless. Yes. G402, I don't know. I need a wireless one. No, like Death Adder V2 might help, but rather than going with Death Adder V2, it's lifetime. See, Viper V3 is amazing. I'm using the Viper V3, so I might go for that one, but The only thing is the battery. There you go. Next round, next round, next round in the house. Damn, the mouse is too big. As compared to this one, it's too big. Bro, no way I'm going to get that mouse. बहुत बड़ा है. And this is too light. I want a compact mouse, you know. I might go for Orochi.
Bom dia,
here in Toronto
que
as that
Deus
final EMEA team,
e o céu
everyone
te
else from that
guardem.
region out
Quem
in the
começa
group stage,
o
went home
dia
early in this
orando,
tournament.
terminará o
FANATIC staying
dia
in it despite the roster
agradecendo.
changes, despite bringing a
Nosso
rookie
dia
player
hoje
into
será
this
uma
tournament.
bênção.
Do want to inform
dia-
everyone, a little bit of a technical hiccup on the stage. We're going to get that sorted in just a little bit. So you'll stick with us for the time being, a little podcast. You know, you can't complain about that. Wait a minute, just got told I'm a liar. We're going into the game, everybody. Let's dive into the action. Toronto, make some noise for Brent and Sideshow.
We're going to need to see G2 dig deep, show that resilience that allowed them to come
There
back
goes the
versus
match.
Gen G. They're going to stand a chance against this Fnatic squad because both of these teams are aiming for greatness at this event. Both of them are looking to go that much further.
Jonah P, though, quoted as saying very recently, it's going to be a complete failure if we lose now, a disappointment. We're already thinking about the finals, and I think that just less pressure and more their own team's expectations. They want redemption for Bangkok.
But
Fnatic stands in the way.
It's apparent. Okay, fault line. Alpha has found a pocket to play in. Even on this angle.
Right click आएगा. He will take a
Nothing
hit.
crazy though from Fnatic.
They're expecting the reclear.
And expected they will
I told you.
be rewarded. Alpha
Take a right click.
is lying in wait. Jumps on the chance. Now TP going to be laid in towards the back of that site.
I mean, it's a perfect read there. Really good control. They know exactly what G2 are going to go for. And now they've got themselves a 5v4. And Fnatic are never going to overrush in these kind of situations. They can sit back, play the player advantage. Even allow Chronicle maybe to work a little bit of pressure over towards A and try to pull people off this hard anchor position.
Fnatic just trying to keep G2 guessing. Jonah P holding down that fault line. It's going to be have to contact a Leaf who's holding from the high ground.
Full Phage utility and being dumped right now over towards A to try to pull people. There's only two now ready to defend B.
There it is. It's going to be sailing up and over towards it. Exchanged evenly, but out of satchels in hand. Alpha.
That's a great shot.
Straight into the fray. Leaf is there. Right, so back with the flash is even better. Jonah P is going to do a lot from this spot. And Trent does supplement.
Nice.
Still a player disadvantage for them. Time running short. How do you get yourself in through the back of this?
The heaven,
smoke in your
the
face.
heaven lurk.
And lurk is what they're waiting for. That's on the timing. Crashies just laying around towards the side. He's already dropped down, but they weren't expecting it. Trent, if he stays alive, he's won the round. Trent!
Whoa!
Absolute
What a round!
ridiculous.
What a round! Lucina, welcome
That's
to
an
the stream.
unbelievable way of the pistol round to finish.
Unbelievable.
Trent is
Bro, that was
completely surrounded.
Clutch.
Got his opponent Fade lurking through heaven. Should have been an absolute wrap, but they lost track of where he was. They knew that he'd been over towards spawn. But I think Crashies was searching for him, didn't realize. He was just tucked right behind that box.
Four in this round.
He didn't even need the final kill, but he gave us it anyway. Nice! That's pretty absurd, because I think Fnatic should have been able to wrap that one up and win 3 out of 3 pistols so far.
Nice one,
but
nice
G2
one.
rewrite the narrative.
Skipping past a lot of this util is going to be the Prowler. Kayak taking that space. Stray shots fired down. That Bulldog, not exactly the weapon of choice here, but with the horns followed up. Leaf is here. Fill in the gap to the defense.
Dead.
And the C's
Dead,
into the
dead,
Snakebite
dead,
combo to give Leaf a third. Leaf now actually going to be approaching a Viper's Pit. He's able to clean up the rest of these players.
Looking for the last few. Spots it out. Chronicles. Drop 2 of them.
Woo!
Spike accessible to a degree, but Valen is quick to recover.
That's what Leaf, a really big anti-eco round for him, gets very close to the Viper's Pit. Not going to have it online for this bonus, but could be a difference maker early on in a crucial rifle round, especially if G2 can do a little bit of damage in this next to the Fnatic economy. A rare good round as well. Fnatic taking a lot of round control very early on.
Nice one.
But you're expecting, again, quite a lot of these rounds, even with the double duelist, to be slow-paced from Fnatic on their attack side. I know Kaplan on the desk was talking about the fact that G2 got some experience playing against double duelist compositions, but PaperX and Fnatic are pretty much as far apart as you can play the same comp.
And the bait setup. Alpha just trying to swing off the back.
Hell of a hit.
Onto the jump peak.
He did get an aim punch as well. That was a Phantom 140 headshot. But I'm really interested in this battle over towards B main. You see it here from Kayak and Jorg, just kind of feeling each other out. On the pistol round, Jorg got baited into walk re-clearing B main. But B main control is super important in the current meta.
Smokes propped up, recalled. We're going to be left guessing. There's haunts and action occurring onto every extremity right now. Pushing Chronicle out of the path. Jorgamo looking to potentially take a fight here. Knife out for Kayak. Oh my, that's unfortunate timing.
I mean, that's a weird decision as well, isn't it? Leaf versus Chronicle. And Chronicle gets the better end of it after Valen had already retreated. And now Valen's alone and isolated on the A side with the Paranoia as his best friend.
That's to anchor single-handedly. Reinforcements arriving in the form of Tremor. He doesn't really have a weapon to his name. It's the classic and a bit of Utah. They can hear it now. Smoke's going to start to be laid down, blossoming. Vault reveals. And not even the exit for Valen. Just trying to TP out of it, but just opened his body up wide for it. So Fnatic,
not yet covered, bro.
methodical approach towards it. Trying to hold back the onslaught now that G2 are trying to dish out. No one is ready for Alpha.
Yeah, that's a nice cleanup from Fnatic. Really good positioning too. Even if Alpha hadn't been able to close out with 3 kills, Boaster's waiting in vents as a backstab. They've set up that round really nicely here. Fnatic are so good at their attack side macro. I know we're watching a little bit of a mistake here from Kayak, but he has some B main information. Chronicle controls the other side of the map. And in the meantime, the rest of the pack is working their way up mid, getting a heaven control, just slowly pushing back G2. G2 at some point in these slow rounds are going to have to fight to re-clear. And that always comes with a bit of danger.
Straight back into it.
Once more, same 1-3-1 setup from the attackers, right?
No.
Kayak holding on.
Don't do it. No.
Heavy premium, just spotting the cross-up. Jorgamo will have to respect that.
And that's great information from Kayak. He saw that teleport. He knows that Jorgamo's gone back into a more passive position.
Trying to square up towards it. What a shot.
Nice one. Jorg has just decided to take the fight to Kayak. Might be a bit of an experience diff happening here.
Head clean off the shoulder.
Nice.
Kayak's got to be watching from the spectator seat, but Chronicle's been good for it so far. Pressure up towards B Heaven though. Alpha is ahead of it, finds the gap. Time to be taken. Sees though, avoided.
It is a nice seize though, because it gets Jonah P back onto the line.
So much pressure happening. Oh, no. It's not ideal.
He's just gifted them the spike.
The spike dropped down.
I mean, that I don't think was even... I think that was just supposed to be fake pressure anyway. Kron might have done enough.
To be the savior for him. Leaf. Judge in hand. Lets it loose and lets it rip. So putting a bit of fear into them, putting the squeeze down into Leaf. A bit of spam chopping him down. Leaf
20 seconds.
At the knees, 20 seconds, scrambling, dashing.
Spike down mid.
And is leaving it just down to Crashies. A spike essentially unretrievable.
Nice one by G2.
Big fumble in that round from Fnatic, from Boaster.
Amazing.
Like I said, I'm not sure if they thought the vent was completely clear and they were just trying to make a drop noise to fake a pivot into A and go back to B. Or whether Boaster really wanted to try to take vent and just didn't have a teammate with him. But either way, you can't make a mistake like that when you're already a slow-paced team. And clearly the Fnatic coaches are not happy about it either, because we're about to go into a tactical timeout. And so, coming off the back of this, I mean, there was a great tac timeout on Lotus. The desk talked about it as well. That adjustment in the second half. The coaches took the timeout. Boaster adjusted some things and FANATIC were able to close out on map 1. Here, this is very early on. It's probably more to do with adjusting the tempo, or maybe one of the coaches has got a read on what G2 specifically are doing on their defense side. But I think there's a couple of things to just calm down here for FANATIC. Kayak's kind of getting diffed and making a couple of mistakes in terms of anticipating the aggression of Jorgamo. Jorg's just caught him on a couple of timings. And obviously we've just witnessed that fumble from Boaster dropping the spike in vent, so not sure whether it's nerves. It looked like the confidence was high for FANATIC, to be honest, on map 1. But they've now given Leaf an opportunity to get this Viper's Pit online in what could be a crucial round, though it is going to be a half buy here. FANATIC have still got some big weapons.
Opting into it almost fully. Oh, second guessing themselves.
Okay, there
Money's
we go, there we go.
all over the place here from FANATIC. TP in a fault line, sets up Valent. Horns timing.
It's in the
Yeah, they've decided to use the pit in mid.
In mid?
Boaster's just spamming into it, but with how much FANATIC were doing 1-3-1 deep, vaulting, okay, Alpha's just going to rip Trent apart. And these 3 players were looking to try to put pressure over towards A early on. They know that Valent teleported, so that's what Alpha's also worried about. They think that they think that Valent might be inside that smoke. He's miles away, he's all the way towards screens, but he is slowing FANATIC down and forcing them to use util.
Now getting a bit of a move on towards a ramp. Chronicle and Alpha, the 2 players with rifles in hand.
But Valent is just so isolated here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's cut up on an island from this point. Doesn't know if he's lost A heaven control, doesn't really know where to lay it down the smoke either.
Okay, that's a heaven smoke.
Actually trying to catch the cross. FANATIC are willing to play this one slowly. 45 seconds, that's a TP. Straight down to default.
This guy is
taking a fight. Valent chopped down. Showstopper even expended. That's out the back pocket of Alpha. This is going to be a quick scurry away. G2 do not want any part of this.
30 seconds
Yeah,
left.
they don't want to get caught by some kind of splash rocket that gets fired into heaven. Their A-ramp fight is going to be crucial here. Chronicle's just been amazing today.
He's going to try and do it all with a judge! Chronicle!
He's perfect!
Hitting shots like that! Boaster just supplements beautifully. Recall of the smoke, Jorgamo. Really going to commit into this. The money is low.
I think G2 lost every part of this round. Lost Trent to that duel over towards A-ramp. Didn't really adjust. Valent thought that he could hold A, at least for retake, on his own. And FANATIC got into perfect positions.
Bro.
And then they just lost every important fight to Chronicle too.
This is not happening.
The combo, once more, that 1-2 punch of Alpha and Chronicle. It's been immaculate today.
They haven't stopped.
And Alpha's going to open up a lot of these rounds. Kayak too. I mean, Kayak is certainly one of those players. He was lighting up the scoreboards, topping the rankings in EMEA for stage 1. But if you're looking for experience at global events, you can't go wrong with the duo of Alpha and Chronicle.
NT.
That's what they are.
They're keeping that energy all the way up.
What?
Yeah,
They
the disrespect with it.
G2 bot? What the
Hard commit
heck?
by Kayak, just jumps straight past, and this duel that's taking place.
Yeah, Jorg's had the better end of it most of the time. But at some point, with how aggressive and timing-based Jorg has been playing, he could easily get punished. They're expecting FANATIC to be trying to take some A-ramp control and holding the stun for it. A stun, potentially a paranoia and a re-clear of ramp. But nobody scaled off the back of the Prowler for FANATIC. Nope, playing it slow, cautiously.
Don't pick it.
You could be in a world of hurt.
That's just
Poor timings, contacting, walking up onto the line. Valent wants a little bit more. It's good with a trade though, Crashies. Shuts that down.
Maybe an overpeak from Valent there. I think it's difficult to take one kill and make it into 2 against FANATIC when they're so disciplined. But still a player advantage.
3v4, wait, just see the barrel!
Clumsy movement, arguably, from Boaster there, just as they were calling out G2 for walking around like bots. And G2 in a 4v2. These rounds, you know, FANATIC don't get something started early in terms of map control or picks. You get some of these dull endings to the rounds, but G2 will be very happy to have the momentum paused for a moment.
Yeah, There'll be another round added up to their tally. 4th one for G2.
And often when I do watch FANATIC play on Split,
10 seconds left.
I'm hit by how nice the game plan is. I think often with how precise Boaster can be and how good the coaching staff is on this team, they often come out with some kind of immaculate read. I'm not seeing that just yet today. Leaf caught towards the end, but it's not going to do too much damage to G2's economy. It does put a bit of pressure down, but there's players that can drop. These kind of unfortunate situations, though, are just a killer for FANATIC. When you're playing slowly and you're trying to be disciplined and you just kind of get spammed through a smoke, it can throw a wrench in the works massively. Like I said, though, I'm still kind of waiting for that glimmer of brilliance that you often see from Boaster's Calling on the attack side. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that G2 have been able to keep control of B main, and that's where the fight's going to happen again early on. Jorg getting posted.
Very early fault line. Jorg trying to take this one with a little bit more aggression. Off angle play. It's going to be Util User trying to clear him out. Aftershock to the corner.
Okay.
Kayak, his gate crash was set towards main. He's got no exit anymore. But Slusto towards the back of the side. Gives him access towards the G2 himself. Is going to be backing out.
They chose not to try to combine that with the Fade ultimate. You know, you still got that in your back pocket over towards the retake.
Trying to take the fight forwards into their spawns. A flash and a play into it. Clone just eating a bunch of that damage. Jorgamo answers, drops down Kayak. Pit now into your face, and this dimensional drift needs to get value. Nightfall in through, into the back. Spam and a shorty. Jorgamo has got access now towards it, and Chronicle down. That means the Pit alongside with it. Jorgamo is no stopping him right now. Boaster gonna do it all from an uncomfortable spot indeed to buy time for Alpha, to buy time for this guy to shine. 7 bullets left, Trent repositions.
6 bullets.
Leaves it into the 1v1 and time is ticking away from him. Trent. It's a bad plan, he's sticking this.
Alpha!
Have on it, Alpha wide.
No, go for it.
He's gonna swing, he's gonna swing now, Alpha!
Oh!
He claims it!
Fucking idiot, bro.
What an angle to be found from Alpha here! I thought he beefed it for sure there. Knew that Trent was only going to get half in that spot and still had an angle to be able to swing out wide in B main. It looked like a horrid plant. And a really good combo. But considering the pressure that Jorgamo put down, getting 3 in the round, everybody else couldn't quite get it done. Look how tight that one is. FANATIC with a weapon advantage heading into round 8. And a few really good tools to be able to work with too. Cosmic Divide, Crashies with an ultimate as well. Plenty of tools to be able to get in and run some kind of set play with the ultimates. I was also talking on Lotus about the fact that G2 win almost 40% of their retakes. FANATIC are also our best team in post plants. Like one of those stats has to give up today. And at the moment, it looks like FANATIC kind of coming away with the advantage.
Yeah. Attempt by FANATIC here. Double dive in, TP into the back, Satchel's in play. Kayak has that backside control. Jorgamo forced to give it up.
We just left this side, okay. And he's dead.
They claim to the side.
He's
FANATIC
dead.
not content
He
with
is
it though.
dead.
Looking like they almost wanted to step past. And through the spawn, just the deep seas.
And once more, the best post plant team is playing against the best retake team.
To see what comes out on top. Fight forwards, out towards Pillar. The guns and the weaponry, not ideal for G2. Starting to at least drop down into the sides, and the feed is filled up. One shade of teal. Alpha standing alone. Chronicle is going to pick up these pieces with a double face like that. G2.
Nice.
Disrupt the hold completely.
With a Spectre, Bren, as well.
I don't like
from that range.
the Euro.
I mean, G2 are masters of being able to get the best out of the light weaponry. But kind of incredible that they make that retake work and not the one before. That has flipped the eco situation on its head entirely. Flash out! Around where it looked like FANATIC should have been able to come out on top and equalize the game at 4-4. Suddenly, G2 are running away with things.
How he did the headshot on me while running? What is this luck, bro?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. How is he hitting that with a Spectre from that range? Now FANATIC themselves have got to try to make something happen with a really bad vibe.
And the money has taken a tumble. Flipped 180.
And they're going to try to use this orb in mid. It's a really nice orb lineup from Chronicle, and it allows them to close the gap with lighter weaponry. So Kayak and Crashies.
Leaf, under pressure, just spots the shoulder, gives up most of the space. G2, heavy emphasis being placed over towards A. No one B heaven.
These players could get pinched if G2 don't keep a ramp control. So that's why you see Trent maybe even overextending slightly to fight for this.
That's in the open.
I mean, throughout this all, Kayak inserted in vents with the Vandal. They're hoping that Leaf goes for re-exploration here, you know, with something, a stun, a paranoia, and Kayak can just grab one.
Ram take here from FANATIC, and this does put the squeeze now onto Leaf. Trying to lay in wait, and they're already putting a drop on him! Bucky in hand! And Alpha obtains the upgrade.
That's beautiful.
Slowly but surely, FANATIC are dissecting this site. Taking the map control away, it's going to be ult expended just to try and get themselves back in, but it's wasted! Caesar's perfect, Trent just trying to stay tucked in, but the horn reveals all. There will be no escape, not this time. Not from what FANATIC are putting on show.
They cross every T and dot every I. When things work for FANATIC in this slow-paced style, it looks so perfect.
And it's desperation by G2, just wandering into that sight line. A thrifty win from FANATIC. Back and forth we go.
The economy apparently means nothing between these two teams. G2 cast down into the depths again as FANATIC keep it. But, I mean, look, they knew that Leaf was just pinned in that corner the entire time. They're not going to re-clear. Kayak's just controlling that space, keeping him corralled. And once they have that pick, pushing into the site, the perfect seize onto Valen, the perfect halt onto Trent. I mean, it's all gorgeous. Every piece of util with purpose. And G2 take a tactical timeout for the last 3 rounds and a half. We had a dead even 6-6 on Lotus to open things up. And that, I think, is the absolute peak of both teams' map pool. But Split, it's more of an uphill battle, I would argue, for G2. FANATIC sealing up map 1 should set FANATIC up pretty here to be able to move on and face Wolves. I think G2 have got to really dig deep. At the moment, they're in the lead, but their eco is shot, and this could easily be anyone's half.
Yeah.
And once more, by the way, Brent, it's that duo of Alpha and Chronicle. 13 kills for Alpha, 11 kills for Chronicle. I mean, nowhere near double digits for anybody else. They are putting on an insane performance, this deadly duo for FANATIC. And this is why they win trophies.
Pure domination. As you said, pressure is on G2, I think. Try and slow them down despite being around ahead. Money's not good here for G2. Scramp together a bit of a buy, TP disengage, just to try and get some information. That's Jorgamo. Seeing if they're posted.
Alpha is so happy taking this duel. I mean, he knows he's on fire. And while Chronicle's the anchor, the rock, Alpha's the tip of the spear. He's the guy that can open things up, make the magic happen. And I think he's playing more confidently than Kayak is right now too, so he is actually taking more of those opening fights.
A lot asked of him, but always ready to deliver.
Leaf again has gotten stuck a little bit in vent here. Joel gets destroyed on site.
Yeah, just trying to anchor over towards A. Slide off angle, I think, trying to catch a cross.
I don't like
gap, a small window that Leaf wants to try and play himself in and towards. The Sheriff does sing into his hands. Will be forced to try and back himself out and away. There are anchor players, though. Onto the site. Trent doesn't have a lot to work with here, and he needs some help, and he needs it now after shot. Trying to land it close to the corner alongside the Seas. This is FANATIC that are getting stunted.
30 seconds.
Well, lines
30
out.
seconds left.
The spike heading up towards ramp. Surely not a pivot to B.
Right into Leaf. No shotgun into his hands, just a Sheriff, but
the time.
So much danger, 20 seconds left. Reggie want to end it at this point. FANATIC, Anchor Smokes are laid down. G2 trying to play that time. Kayak cracks it open and cracks heads while he's at it. Moving forwards, Trent has not been dislodged, at all.
The time.
He's denied the plans. And the time is the worst enemy of this FANATIC squad.
Trent has done it again.
He stays alive in the final moments.
almost exactly the same as what we saw from Trent on the pistol. He's the anchor, he is in a crazy position, and yet he is the last one left alive. The clock has been a nightmare for the Fnatic on their attack side. And this time it just happens again. The reason they're planning for Heaven in this spot, by the way, is so that the site player, Trent, can't deny. And yet, whilst trying to get the plant down, they get picked off from Heaven. Gaps everywhere.
Look at that timeline. Back and forth, back and forth. It's a pendulum swinging.
And always the Thrifties.
Over these teams. So deadly, so dangerous. Jorgemalt, operator in his hands. He's been revealed. Get crashed to safety. It's Alphier like a rocket in through the site, trying to at least roll out the red carpet for the rest of his team. I want to go one step further. Instant plant down for Fnatic. This is pacey.
Yeah, much faster round from them.
Okay. You're up, eh?
Completely overwhelmed here with the night 4. Alpha trying to evacuate, trying to back himself out. Crashes. He's immaculate across their place for the MG2. Not to be outdone. Already in, through, onto the site. Crossfire setup is set up indeed. Alpha trying to back away, trying to play the timing well to pull.
Chronicle in Heaven as well.
Leaf. He's already taken out Alpha. Chronicle the Heaven player. Late flank round. He's been taken out, and now Boaster. Last one left to do it all. The pull was used earlier. Nothing else to delay. It comes down to random spams. He comes down to the clutch. And Boaster might have just done it all.
He's dead. He's
No
dead.
way!
Insane!
That's ridiculous!
It's Trent again! Boaster did everything he possibly could. He played it the best anyone could in that situation. And yet, flashbacks, deja vu to Forsaken spinning in circles earlier on to cast Sentinels out. He's
6
just
bullets,
wiggling
man.
around and doesn't have the ammunition.
That's a heartbreaker now. G2 leading by 3 rounds. Final round here for the first half of Split. Fnatic would love to make it a 7-5.
I mean, there have been so many moments where Fnatic arguably should have won. We're thinking Pistol, Trent Thrifty on the site, maybe even Boaster winning the clutch there. But they're all should-haves, could-haves. And G2, with that grit, are managing to find their way into the lead. Kayak's been really absent from this attack half. He's once more over towards B, 5 and 9. It'd be a great thing for Fnatic to get him activated, especially before he has to be one of their big players on defense with the op, etc.
Right mid, one's watching Wayne.
Shift up here from the defensive setup of G2. So Valen is the one anchoring, and he's going to be feeling that heat. It's turned up, under scrutiny. Paranoia. Still prime, still ready. Jonah P will have to let loose some util of his own, and then looking for that refight up towards Heaven. It's an important one. Valen has to reposition. He's in control out towards it. Jonah P with a flash and backing himself out. TP to try and escape. The dimensional drift is going to be pointing all of this out. Kayak is getting the info for his team. Both are trying to take that peek and that fight towards it.
That's wild.
It's disjointed. Valen's doing this one with just a Spectre in hand, but not for much longer time. Still playing against them. Tapping away. Jorgemal's now there. Ult of his own. He's straight into the fight.
Spike planted.
The peak from Trent dropped down to just 50 health. This damage done to a variety of them. And Crashies will deliver the round to them.
Stands tall and finishes the half strong. That was a difficult one. Crashies wiping sweat off his brow. There were so many moments where it felt like Fnatic should have been able to close. Even in this round, they're slow, they're methodical, but they should have had the advantages. They put the squeeze onto those site anchors, and G2 was still able to get 7.
Still anyone's game, of course. Just a 2-round difference that can change. Just one simple pistol round. Before all that, we're going to set it down to Van Silly, who's waiting and standing by with a special guest.
Thank you once again, Bren, and this time I'm joined on the floor by Team Liquid's latest content creation, or content creator, sorry, it's Shazam! Dude, I felt like I wasn't able to do that since like 2021 when I was casting your games. How you been?
I've been good. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Let's actually roll back the years because 2021 was, you were the first to ever do it. Hoist the Masters Trophy in Reykjavik in 2021. So talk me through what it means for these players and for these teams to compete for this trophy right here in Toronto.
I mean, yeah, it means everything. It's like all you work towards, you know, like these guys scrim a lot and it's the only goal. It's your life. Your life revolves around it. So.
And your life is now around content creation. The last team that you represented before joining Team Liquid was G2. So do you still have a little bit of ounce for cheering into G2 in this series against FANATIC?
Yeah, I mean, my time with G2, they were an incredible organization, and the guys on this team right now, I consider them good friends, and I'm like rooting for them to make it to the finals.
But Team Liquid right now is also fire as an organization, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. That goes without saying.
So another quick question here. So 2021 again with Reykjavik, you had a chance to IGL against Bolster as well on that stage. What's it like to play against Bolster, and how can he carry the team over to the victory?
Yeah, Boaster is someone I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He is a talented player. He works on his own game. He works on his team, and I think he's like a natural leader. Like you know, the antics on stage and stuff. It's like it's a good thing for a team. Like I'm sure they like laugh about it. It makes them happy. It makes people comfortable. It's like a really big thing. So
we definitely see them happy out there. And Shazam, I want to thank you so much for your time. It's always awesome to see you, brother. One more time for Shazam, everybody. And let's toss it back to the game.
Chaz was just mentioning, you know, the tenure, the history. Played against Boaster himself many a time.
Yeah, including Boaster's first Grand Finals appearance all the way back at the very first LAN event. It's incredible, the tenure, the amount of time that Boaster and Chronicle, for example, have been around. Take a look at the Coinbase Econ report here too. And I think one of the players to really take a look at is Kayak. Struggled a little bit on that attack side. We're going to expect him to be trying to invest into the operator as well.
Huh? Skip, bro.
He's out wide, and there it is from behind. Leaf. Let's get it. Boaster's there, instantly there with a trade-off, but a bit flustered in his approach. He can't take the clean fight.
They've done a lot of damage over here to Jorgamo, but the entirety of this site opened up. And Jonah P in a very safe position where he might be able to provide some information for them. He's at least going to be able to clear the flank and let them know that not too much is coming from that direction. Tough one for Kayak and Crashies. Both players not really had those opportunities to get online yet on this map. So this would be a huge one for them to convert for FANATIC.
Jonah P's going to be keeping his eye at least a watchful. Just takes a pot shot there, straight to the shoulder. Backs himself out. Gets a bit of info for the team, though. The fault line is good. Jorgamo takes the peak off of it. Crashies gone. Kayak. It's all on his shoulders. Heavy weight to burden to try and win this one with time ticking in the way that it is. G2.
Nice play, nice play,
Get
nice
their
play.
second
Come on,
pistol
yes.
round.
You can do it, G2.
So 2 pistol rounds for FANATIC on Lotus, and now 2 pistol rounds back the other direction for G2 here on Split. And this second one, pretty clean to be honest. Alpha was really trying to find that timing to be able to put pressure on the vent players and still avoid getting backstabbed. And he did a great job. I mean, hitting a 180 to be able to deal with, or at least put pressure and damage onto Leaf is great, but overall the positioning and the setup worked better for G2. And now Alpha's going to go for a Bucky. The rest of the team on FANATIC not really with too much to work around.
All eyes on mid. Alpha straight through into sewers, just in case there was one player lurking, holding.
And do they have the information about this? It does feel like G2 are accelerating slightly, speeding things up to try to react into B.
Smoke's propped up, horns in your face, and Leaf is looking for a timing. Just seeing it. So Crashies, good C's, wall up.
This is going to help Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha's all the way behind. There's no timing to be caught here, so that's a beautiful kill.
Thing is, doesn't actually give any weaponry away. Leaves the one player allowed to be aggro on his lurk to give information.
Bit of pace behind this one. Could be gaps for Fnatic to play in. Could be mistakes that they could absolutely capitalize on. Just the pistols in their hands, and they're making it work regardless. Jorgamo, just like that. Shoes on the other foot. He's the last one left to stand against this, and the damage has been done. Indeed, already the net tightening. B-main control as Fanatics. They have almost the whole of the site. Jorgamo in a spot like this will have to do a lot. No free kills going to be given up whatsoever, and off a poster. Here comes the swing.
That's
shot
a lot
through
of
the
damage.
wall. Crashes. One more to the chest will do him. But still the guessing game for Jorgamo. Does not know where this last player is.
And with time ticking down, surely it's not possible. A
Big on
1v4?
Surely not.
He
Alpha.
might be able to do
Quite
it.
an upgrade in the midst of all of this one. Spectre in his hands. 10 seconds left. It's getting dire. Out towards the top. Just can't land a shot. Fnatic. Lifting them right back.
We've seen so many of these rounds here on Split, where the team with lighter weaponry is able to put on a big performance. And it is another MasterCard Thrifty. I think a little bit of a scramble, a little bit rushed.
One enemy remains.
The G2 players, we talked about this previously in one of the other games, who said we were playing scared and fast. I think that was in the game against Paper X, actually, that they were talking about that.
What are you doing, bruv? Hey! What is going on? You're getting classic!
And Valin, I think he made the wrong judgment call there to accelerate towards the end. Fnatic already had the read that they were going to collapse into B. If he'd taken a slightly faster timing on the reaction, it might well have worked. But that is going to get Fnatic straight back into this game. And anytime you have a Thrifty like that, round 2, you're also allowing Fnatic to build up to these big ultimates.
Yeah, they're going to start farming. Orbs attempted to be picked up here, but just a random spam and spray. Fnatic got this one locked down.
It's Boaster who's 2 away from getting a Cosmic Divine. Could
What
be
is
big
happening with G2?
for a retake setup. Kayak potentially looking like he might be able to work towards his as well.
Toxin screen down.
Though, to be honest, the ones you're scared of for the
goes.
defenders to get online are Chronicles and Alphas. Not like they've had any trouble getting up to ults quickly, though, because they've been fragging like demons in this game so far.
And they've been ridiculous. The backbone for the team, Trent.
Where are you? 30 seconds left.
Just going to decapitate Chronicle in the midst of all of this one, but with 25 seconds left, a hard ask ahead of G2.
An upgrade, though, to a rifle.
It's like Perch off angle. That's a Paranoid. It's a decent connection. Kayak forced to be dropping off that one now, but with 14 seconds left, time is against them. It's kills that are being needed right now for G2, and Fnatic not in the mood to be offering them. Clone taking the bullets. Time getting against them once more. Kayak has going to be falling there, but Boaster in through behind. Easy with the cleanup. 8-7.
They are playing.
Fnatic should be able to grab upgrades, at least on one of the weapons. Little bit of economic damage done there, but shouldn't harm Fnatic too much. Ended up being an all-right eco round, but compared to the standards we've seen so far on Split, where people are winning with nothing, our attention then onto the next. And Kayak has now gone for the operator.
Damn, bro.
So here's an opportunity for the player filling Durka's shoes in this Fnatic core.
There is no comeback.
Looking for the setup over towards B. He's found himself his place.
Early flash, and Kayak was still tucking Knife out into this deep angle. He's found the timing, but would have to deal against a stun potentially. A Prowler to try to push him off the line.
See what G2 have got.
He's got a great chance of landing the opening pick here, though.
Time being bled down. Gate crash. Expiring soon. Kayak. Locks it down. Yeah. Oh, wow. The timing on that one, right as the gate clash does expire. Forced to back away. A lot of damage done to Kayak in the process. 16 health.
Face your fear!
Gets away alive, though. Still can play his life into this one with the Nightfall. It's going to be colliding. Pulls going to be used out early. Jorgamo already dipping his way in through the back of the site. And a wonderful peek at that. Fnatic trying to make a go of this one here. Kayak with the operator in his hands on through the high ground. Kills are collected and claimed across the board. It's 8-8.
Really solid defensive setup there. Love the timing on Boaster's peak. Kayak uses his clone. That gets popped. Boaster's in immediately behind to try to clear up Jorgamo. Here you see it on the replay again. Almost catches 2 as well. Huge amount of damage onto Valen, who was trying to teleport in. A great read as well from FANATIC in this round. They knew that this was going to be a B-pop. Of course, G2 had to give away quite a lot of what they were doing around the map just to deal with Kayak. So Kayak's up, finding a lot of passive value there, and he's going to keep it into the next. FANATIC may well have turned the tides of this one. Felt like they were on the back end of split, every miracle moment going against them. And yet now, they're in the driving seat. Looking to try to close things out 2-0.
Ridiculous between these two teams. G2 themselves not even comprehending that they could be knocked out. They think of themselves as the main character, but the same could be said for FANATIC. Both of these squads looking to make history.
Got the spike. I do like the positioning of G2 though. I think you could argue that FANATIC are playing things a little too passive on their anti-ecos. Giving G2 full mid control just allows them to slice up the defenders.
Double drop down, Alpha, he's up onto the ropes. The bullet to the head of Jorgamo, but he is cleaned up.
Look how isolated Crashies is now, because these defenders can't rotate through mid.
They'll do it all from this spot. We'll see what the call is from G2 though. Steady as they go.
And this is how you see these thrifty rounds crumble. Perfect pause as well to make Crashies wonder about whether or not they're actually hitting, whether he should call Boaster over as support.
Reveals his position, bit of spam, drop down, he hears it. Footsteps colliding with the floor. This is G2 with open access now towards the site and looking for potentially a refight. It's a plan for Heaven and for main. Dimensional drift from Kayak. He's going to be getting a lot of information. A lot of ults expended, even that. It's a Cosmic Divide, and they're trying to take this fight forwards. G2 with a lesser weaponry, not to be denied that space. In through spawn already, Jonah P picking up that upgrade, and it's a complete collapse once more.
Way too much space given to G2. You have to fight them at least a little and not just to allow them to completely control the tempo.
They are playing. G2
you saw there that G2,
but they're
Valen
not going as per
that
their
fight over
words.
towards
They
screens.
said right in the beginning.
And it's set up secondarily.
They said right in the beginning that we are supposed to be energetic and enjoy the game. Rather than that, they are tensed and they are so not focused right now.
Bit of a mid-take here. FANATIC trying to hold against this one, but a Dimensional Drift's going to be used nice and early. A TP, even into spawn, but cancelled out. G2 throwing some fakes into the mix. Trying to spot out some of these players. Kayak inserted, but reveals it! Just missed timing onto it. Jorgamo had to exit out through deep for Kayak.
And then
puts it down. Alpha forced out now with the ult in his hands. Showstopper. And a scurry away from G2.
It's a good cancel call from G2, but really that execute is not what they were looking for. They were hoping that FANATIC were going to be looking in spawn for Valen.
The jiggle Crashies gets the info he's looking for. Flash and a repeat.
So now you've just got to try to call a pretty standard round, but 4v5. Difficult for Valen.
Gap here, there's pressure happening over towards A Heaven. Spike landing up over towards that area. G2 are layering down a bit of util, trying to keep players here. The barrel poking out. Chronicle has Leaf in his sights.
But it's not informing any defensive rotates from B to
30
A.
seconds left.
Look how isolated these A and B players are. And Leaf, he gets away with it.
It's a bullet to the dome, but through the wall, as you said, he gets away with it. He survives. G2 doing up now, trying to set themselves up for a complete attempt and all the way through. This is Boaster back against the wall. A lot to do from this spot. Chronicle trying to dodge and juke and avoid most of it. The ire, it's coming his way. G2 with that side control. Trent has to be that playmaker. What a swing and what a play. Chronicle single-handedly saving the day.
So nice from Chronicle. After he missed that kill up towards Heaven that he was eager for, salivating, he just rips a wide swing against Trent. This early play at the start of the round may be a result of the Yoru nerfs. You know, a couple of extra seconds there on an ultimate, and maybe Kayak's position is scouted out, but as you say, it's all Chronicle at the end of the day.
What is wrong with them, bro? They're dancing.
G2 are now going to be forced to do it again with weaker weaponry. At some point, surely FANATIC start to get a comfortable lead. G2 cannot keep doing this with bad buys.
It's been miracle rounds after miracle rounds. G2, as you said, they can't keep getting away with it. They do have the stingers.
Poison orb emitting.
Good adjustment there from the spray down, Chronicle. Doesn't reveal much. Fault line into the corner. That's a clone to be tanking some of the bullets. Alpha just trying to evacuate.
Poison's off.
A lot of bodies though trying to make their way in through, and Chronicle has been overwhelmed. Boaster
Spike down mid.
reciprocates.
And this time, FANATIC are actually trying to fight G2,
Hold
but
up.
they are losing. A 3v3, and G2 have managed to gain mid control. It was contested.
I got the spike.
And at least it's given them information for somebody like Crashies to be able to wrap fully round on this flank.
Jonah does not have a gun to try and stop this. It's a classic in hand, and Crashies are going for it. It's a slight off angle, takes a dink to the head. They're trying to run him down. Trent. No denial of the kill. Upgrades across the board now. It's 2 from FANATIC, Kayak and Boaster to do it all.
I think this read is really nice as well. When Crashies gets caught here, pretty confident there's not going to be as many players over towards B.
30 seconds left.
All still being used though. In the back pocket, Kayak's ahead of it. He's found that timing, he's straight ahead of it. Kayak needs some kills to be claimed though. Catch the first! You're not expecting it. Jonah P was down from behind!
How have they done it again?
Again!
It doesn't matter what FANATIC's game plan is. If they play passive to try to avoid the stingers, then G2 just take the site and play post plan. If they try to contest them for space, they're losing the fights to the death ball, the brawl of G2.
Spike down B.
It is a nightmare right now, and you can see it writ all over the body language of these coaches.
No, we're winning every round, even though it's chaotic through mid. Just keep it up until they...
They're winning every round, but they're winning primarily when they don't have weapons.
Yeah, and the odds are stacked against them as G2. They proved that they have grit from that last series, the run back against Gen G. FANATIC are feeling it now.
Big investment of a Viper's Pit in a round where you have bad economy. FANATIC do not want G2 to be able to get comfortably up to 11. Frankly, the weaponry hasn't made a huge difference here on split, so entirely winnable for FANATIC.
Portal closed.
But this death ball style has been the best thing for G2. Just having so many bodies there to be able to trade out individual stars like Alpha, who is positioned right now to try to catch people on the cross into A. So I think it's Crashy's job to try to draw attention, and Alpha, the dagger in the back.
Ryze is going to take at least 2.
Crashy's jiggling. Like you said, we're going to pounce onto this one here. It's a season and nade. Only catching onto the clone. No casualties.
By going for that Season 8 though, Alpha's given up his position. So he has to relocate up to heaven.
Paranoia swoops forward to gate crash in. Alpha is
30
on
seconds left.
the high ground. Guardian in hand.
And the time has not been a problem for G2 this series just yet.
25 seconds left, and you can hear it rumble of the footsteps, and there it is! Trying to make their way forwards. A bit of spam coming through, but still evens out G2. And spending everything. But can they remove Crashies finally? Yes. Time. 11 seconds left.
10 seconds left.
Utilizing the pit though against 2 players with light weaponry could be a disaster for Leaf.
Out forwards, trying to take that timing. Leaf. Seeing if they've crossed it, past it already. Boaster can get in close and personal. Bucky in hand. All the way through. That's a bullet to the back. Pellets raining down and the pit falls because of it. Nothing to hide. Trent away. He's got to do it all from this spot here to jiggle the shots. It's immaculate from Boaster. The 2v1. Smoke up. Full committal. And Chronicle sticking counter spam from Boaster. It's 10 to 10.
Speed दिखा के बैठा है जबकि उसका
And another thrifty. Of course it is. No team right now can win when they have rifles. And I think the big reason why is because the teams are willing to take more risks when they have bad weaponry. FANATIC is willing to gamble stack and go really fast just based on noise cues, willing to take timings and moments of aggression. G2's economy once more is going to be on the ropes. Why do I even bother talking about it though? It was another Mastercard thrifty, so who cares? It's a scrap out here.
It has not mattered. The energy is just oscillating between these two teams, but FANATIC are the ones now in the driving seat once more. A map ahead. Looking for the round is going to make all the difference. G2 are forwards, the horn not broken, dropping down, no mistakes are being made. Alpha sends it flying forwards with the boombot in hand, wants to try and take it! It's a gun uploaded, Jonah. Happy to shut him down.
And even throws the weapon away to a teammate with slightly better health. Leaf, a monster.
Can't be happening again.
Another opportunity for another Thrifty. I mean, the player post-plan positions are even quite nice from Jorg and from Trent.
Tucked in, rooted to the spot. Through heaven, that's going to be a horn that has to be dealt with. Jorgenmo's the one with a rifle. Fault line, Cosmic Divide even being committed. TP now into the back in the space. Right there, they have no idea. They are none the wiser. Kayak, it's your time to shine! And shine he does! Absolutely ridiculous!
That Euro play, and look at G2's Euro play.
What a sick play from a player that was struggling a little bit in the first half. He has come online and more in the second. He's making his way firmly up and up the scoreboard. And with plays like that, I mean, it's a gorgeous play. Leaf's even watching for it, but it gets hit fully by the flash. An accidental kill even onto Jonah P. And Kayak's positive again after that one.
You can see how much it means to him.
Finally, stability. Because this match, it's been like a double pendulum. It's literally impossible. Chaotic forces all over the place. But G2, they're going to take a tactical timeout as both teams finally reset with equal economy. A wild situation, and one in which I think the mental of G2 again is really going to get tested here.
Yeah. You thought it was tested before. This is a completely different scenario. FANATIC have that edge, that lead, and they want to take it all the way home. They want to be the team that carves out that path, that lower bracket run that is so damn legendary, and deny G2 their own chance of redemption.
Yeah, both of these squads dropped into the lower bracket right at the beginning. Both #1 seeds from their regions, the last representatives of Americas and EMEA, and both with players that are searching for records to be broken. Jorg looking to be the second ever player to win a Masters and a Champs. People on FANATIC, I mean, Chronicle, top of the scoreboard. If he's able to win this tournament, it'd be his 4th trophy, utterly ridiculous. And then on the other side of things, people looking for redemption like Crashies, playing against his region, trying to eliminate them, and 2 rounds away from doing so.
Jam-packed is the matchup. Alongside that history, Kayak. They crash away, won't be punished. With the fault line expended there from G2, Chronicle. He's got to try and hold this one down. He's been good for it. It's a seize. Dodged alongside that aftershock. Have a flash into his face with the power on top of it, Jorgamo.
That's a monster entry.
Lights out.
Double reclear potentially into Leaf over towards A ramp, but Boaster, he's backed up to cover vents, so it's actually just Alpha isolated here, trying to force the fight into Leaf.
This fight's happening on both sides of things here with the boombot instantly broken. Deep push from Crashies. Hyperextended. Now Valin, he heard the flash, he saw it. He's got to feel like there could be the possibility of a deep push up, but risks to be taken when you're a player down. Crashies is getting so much information for them, and Kayak, it's a cherry on top.
Yeah, he's expending this ult just for information. It would have been amazing for the retake, honestly, to combine with Crashies, but Crashies pushed up.
No way, Valin expects it, and he doesn't. It's dropped.
It's a wild off angle, that one.
30 seconds left. B main control still there for FANATIC. They have a beautiful hold on this one. Even a Nightfall going to be expended. Flash up into the faces here. G2, a weakened, decayed down. Lee finds it. Clears up that one question mark. Kayak answers again. 14 seconds. Layers them all down. Lines them all up, and Leaf, knife out. He's going to do it all now, but there's no chance in hell. Swarmed in his position, a tap to force it out. It's 12 rounds for FANATIC.
And we have been talking so much about the storied players in this. The IGL battle, Chronicle Alpha, yeah, the core, and yet it's Kayak in the final moments who is making the difference. Filling some gigantic shoes, was dominant in stage 1. and has now put together two huge rounds. And he's really getting into this.
I said they are bots. They're
FANATIC
playing like
one round away from sending
Bro,
G2
are
home.
literally playing like one.
1 round away from claiming that spot in the lower finals. Taking a quick peek. TP even committed there. Pokemon did not want to be caught into that corner. Deep mid control. Kayak not pushed back.
Where are you?
Finally will concede that space, but this is FANATIC on a tear.
There Euro is playing. Look at how G2's
looking to go further.
Valen under a lot of pressure, calling
active,
for help.
Hyper-active as a seize and a nade. TP to disengage. Valen still has his life, but that timing is caught. It's a bullet to the side of the head from Leaf. And now he has to watch in dismay from the spectator seat. As your team's chances are dwindling, it's FANATIC entirely here. Kayak looking to drop, and Valen is gone. The captain removed. Death from 1,000 cuts here. FANATIC are happy to deliver it.
Teleport in onto the A side, but didn't have the spike. Every player from G2 trying to pull off a 3v5 from inside the site. Nobody with heaven control, nobody on the flank. Should be a slam dunk retake for FANATIC with players up.
Dink through the wall, Crash is still alive. Ulta here, rolling Thunder, it's G2. They realize it, they have to try and fight tooth and nail for every inch of space, but Kayak is already wrapping.
They're still going to lose
discipline is here from FANATIC. You need a miracle if you're G2. FANATIC are not in the business of giving them out. Already to swing in the face. Alpha claims the space and more. Jonah P to last-ditch effort.
They're still going to lose it.
That's all it's looking to be. Beautiful.
I told you.
And they sent G2 packing.
Played a very different game this time.
It's been...
Bro, FANATIC's literally played a very different game this time. They came strong. They came strong against G2. Bro, G2 used to play like a very different, bro. Their words are true now. You know, FANATIC actually taunted G2 as bots, and they actually played quite similar to the bots. Okay, especially that Yuru. There were a lot of vulnerable positions which they took, and they lost the round. Okay, not clearing the side, not clearing the corners, bro. Hell, bro, hell. Adrian, Oscar, welcome to the stream. Salve, my friend. Boy Trade, my friend. Boy Trade. What time you are going to stream, my friend Oscar? Oscar, what time you are going to stream?
The play into the crowd.
They are certainly doing it. There's only one more stop between them and a grand finals appearance. And they look eager to take it, dishing it out.
They destroyed Cuba and a hand in the L's to G2. They've slain the best prospects from Americas. And now, the best Chinese team could be next.
They do not want to be denied a legendary lower bracket run that we are witnessing from this FANATIC squad.
And in the end,
near the beginning,
that tight, disciplined play eventually pushed them over the line. We saw some crazy stuff though.
Bro, seriously. Seriously. Was not expecting from G2 at least. Bro, G2, not G2, man. It's 2-2. Dumb players. Bro, expect ही नहीं किया था bro. इतना खराब खेलेंगे इतना तो expect नहीं किया था. Okay. Never expected to play like that. Damn, bro. Damn. Alright then, that's it. That's it for today. And thank you for watching this stream. I'll see you tomorrow. And bye-bye. Have a great day ahead. See ya in the next stream. And bye-bye. Thank you for watching this stream. Thank you for the likes. Boy night. I'll see you in your stream now. And tata bye-bye. Talio. Ciao ciao. Good night.